Oh shit! It didn't open. I swear to God, I prepared. Okay, I swear to God, I actually prepared something. I didn't. I legitimately did not. Okay, I'm back. Oh shit! Oh shit! I forgot the BGM. Fuck is it? You audio control something? There are too many buttons already. There are too many god fucking buttons. I swear. One day I'm going to actually prepare properly. A day is not a day. But hello. I am going to be like explaining today what I've prepared for my campaign. And I am also going to be expanding on what I've created because I have not prepared a session for my players yet, and I have to. And this is my foundry table. That currently it doesn't have a lot of stuff in it, but we shall try to expand a little bit on it. Yep, DnD. Yes, indeed. Today is DnD day, where I showed you a lot of stuff. Hopefully, kill stuff, and a great marathon. So this is my foundry. I usually utilize, we as a group have foundry because we bought it. And this is my table. Currently, I have only really created a little bit of the backstart characters, which is Moses from Limbus, but you may know this from Project Moon. Yes, every time I play the campaign on this table, on this custom mod we're doing, I basically played with a Project Moon character. So there's Moses, Ryoshu, Zena. There are a lot of Project Moon characters in this custom mod we made, basically because of me. And one of the main characters I'm going to do for the campaign is going to be Moses. Moses is going to be helping a lot, okay? We also have what? The Libra ones. Indeed, the Libra ones soon. As you probably cannot see this, but the name of the campaign is the Libra. We also have Ezra, and for my mobs, I created these 3 thingies. 2 of them actually came from DnD. This is the mob I created. This is going to be for these players. As you can see, very customized. Can you have tongue? What the hell happened to your friend, dude? You know, after we move this start, you know what's even funnier? Is that the music I'm gonna play for the boss battle is this one. This is the music for the boss battle, and I am planning the Carnage to be a distorted person. I will elaborate on that a little bit later. But yeah, this is basically the table. I don't really have much prepared in here because, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really prepare much. I fucked up a lot on preparing this campaign. What the? And I have not really done my job because I had an initial idea, but I just didn't like how it was looking. And then I had to like redo everything. But I'm still using its skeleton, which is I'm going to be presenting, and then I'm gonna try and at least show a little bit, like try to create a little bit more. Let me get my obsidian. And okay. I think I have to open. Oh no, obsidian. Okay, there. This is my notes and has my entire campaign written in it. Basically, there's kind of nothing. But this is the campaign itself. Let me... I don't remember how to use this! Oh, shit. Write the buttons. Oh, for fuck's sake! Stop. So this string is going to be very difficult. We'll have clip of Hindi. You can kind of search out, and now we're gonna have a word Kamish in my campaign. Another one that added to the lore. Another one freaking added to the lore. Oh, here, okay. This. I wanna do this, and then I have this one. Yippoo! So, this is basically what I've created for the campaign. This shows everything that is interconnected and everything. It's very cool. But sadly, I haven't really made this in depth, so there's not much here. And what I can explain to you, indeed, complex webs, they're perfect. So basically, oh my god, I'm gonna have to actually get something else. Bro, why didn't I fucking Why did I not prepare this? Why did I not prepare this? And Proper Teams and Mad Meg? Mad Meg, yep. Technical difficulties. We are passing for technical difficulties. Here is good enough. Yeah, here is just gonna. God damn it! Oh, fuck. So, why is it forbidden? I am going to show a lot of the stuff that I have through here, which is Mad Meg. So for first, let's show you guys the map of the campaign itself. This is Driver, a map that we created for our campaign. You can tell that this is hand-drawn. Basically, this is a content of low magic. We are not playing in Forgotten Realms. We are playing in a content we created of low magic, where mostly everyone is at maximum level 1. Level 3, you are like a royal guard and very strong. Level 4, you are extremely strong and are known for like a lot of like a region like this one. You are probably known there forever. It's the city! It's a nugget. It's a nugget with these islands. It's a nugget. And then, like, mages are basically extinct. It's extremely hard to find mages, but if you go to like a major city, they're gonna know what magic is. Like, it's not completely unheard of, but it's extremely hard and extremely sought after. Like, one way that the first person that made the campaign here utilized to show that people are very low level was that there was a mage that we found that legitimately could not cast as many cantrips as he wanted in a day. He could only cast a cantrip per day. That was how like weak we are talking. And my campaign is going to pass in this here, 26, because basically we made a system for magic for in this campaign, where what's happening is that there are ley lines which are like flow like rivers of power that are not, you can see, and that are below the continent, which just feed power, the magical power to people. And there are some places where there is called Nexus Lays, where there are a concentration of ley lines which just concentrate magic, and in those regions normally a lot of weird shit happen. Like in 16 and 14 there is a Nexus Lay, I think, called Valamar, which is a city of an ancient city that is survived till today because there are demons inside. Since another thing that happened in this campaign is that we are in the world a few centuries after a massive campaign to rid the earth, the continent of demons happened. Because before, the entire continent was dominated by demons and everyone was enslaved, and then everyone destroyed the demons, and now there is no more races. Like every single race is accepted in the world, and you can create a vampire character and no human races. It's not gonna be weird, you're just gonna be hair. we made this for this one in specific, and the reason for that is because everyone was actually enslaved by demons, and because of that, everyone just kind of worked together, learned how to work together. There are no gods that you can really speak of, and yeah, there are still some places with demonic presence, like Valimar, but that is another campaign that I already played, and it's not really what I'm gonna be talking about now. We got alcoholic goblins. No. Europe is legitimately token like a lot of the rings. Like, legitimately, Europe is the representation of a lot of the rings. You just have to squint a little bit and you can see everyone. This is basically the lore we have in the world and these ley lines. What I made is that this region right here, 26, is Lunarath, my continent, my little bit of the continent, and it is an extreme concentration of ley lines where what's happening is that because of these ley lines, a lot of stuff happened that was weird. There are a lot of little bit of inconsistencies of how the world works and how Lunarath works, because this is a Nexus ley, and usually every Nexus ley has something constructed on top of it to control the flow of magic, or it's just a chaotic zone. Lunarath is the second case where there is just a complete chaotic zone and where no one can live in. And there are some things that happen. For example, Lunarath is the highest Sparta of this continent of magical trinkets, because there is a region in there where it's very common for like stuff just become magical, and that kind of help. Now let me go back to my obsidian and show you a little bit of the text. If you want to read this later, you can just pause and read it, I don't mind. At least like my players are not gonna come here. I'm pretty sure I told them that if they actually come here and see anything of this, I'm going to kill them. I told them that in no last words. So, how this campaign works. I really need to start my voice before starting streaming. It's become a problem. Basically, the city of Lunarath, the continent of Lunarath, the region of the continent called Lunarath, has a city called Kata in it. I know, very original. And I am using the wrong fucking... Yeah. It has, for the stardom, they seem to match. If they see this, I legitimately just start them on real life and kill them. And make them get. So, on Kata, I made Kata to be the main city and village of Lunarath, because it's not really a big place. And the thing is, it's separated in four areas: Vagram, Thracian, Venari, and Tivale. Every single one of them has references to what's gonna happen in the campaign itself. For example, Fainwraith has a lot of means a little bit of woes and destruction, because Fainwraith is a region which has a leyland connected to Valimar, which means that it's mostly destroyed. Like, the days are not as long as they should be. The night is a lot more darker and lasts longer, and also the entire city is in ruins, and every single time someone has tried to make something that would be more beautiful, something that has a little more color, it immediately the next day just destroys itself, and the city itself looks like there's not that much light in it. And this is the lore of Vagram in specific. And also, because there are ley lines, what I'm planning to do is to make that every single one of the regions in my city, it has a ley line that connects them to another part of the continent, and that other part of the continent is going to have another campaign in it, maybe by another DM or by myself. And then, because those are all interconnected, if you play the campaign in my session before a region, and then you go to another region that I created, which has a ley line that connects to this one. You are going to find things that are overlapping, so you can have like a little discovery as the player. I want to do that. And basically Vagrant, we have already played the campaign enough, so I'm gonna make my first time with the campaign to be the North City, which is Vagrant, since it connects with Valimar, and Valimar is mostly destroyed, and there's going to be a lot of things that just overlap with it. Also, I'm planning to get my character that I played in Valimar back to here to deliver to make it a recurring character. And much of the story I'm going to utilize in here is also going to flesh out the history I made for a character that I played before, which is still alive. Raphanos! Today is the day. This stream is going to be a little bit atypical, okay? And it's gonna be mostly me just artistically explaining my D&D campaign and trying to create it a little bit more. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of yapping. No, this entire stream is gonna be yapping. B1, B1, the yapper has appeared. Also, Vagram has a reputation of people going there to just die silently. So there's going to be a lot of retarded drama scenarios in there, which is going to be extremely important to the plot. Also, since this is going to be the stage 0, I still have to flash this out because I'm going to change it, but I can explain it later. Another place I'm gonna do is Frozen, which is a place with vampires and is mostly conductive and is a place of history, tradition, and if you need something that is lore related, you go to Frozen if you are in Qatar. And basically what I want to make for the story of this section of the campaign is that the players are going to go back in time a little bit. Wait a minute, I have to fix my voice. Yeah, my voice has been really fucked. So basically, they are going to be in a place of tradition and history, and there's gonna be vampires. And what I want to do in this section of the campaign is that I wanted to make that the leader of this region is a vampire, and what happened to her is that she lived through the demonic invasion and its future exposure, and because of that, she is a control freak. She really wants to take control of the continent and control of the entire world so she can make sure that something like that never happens again. And basically what I want to make is that when the players reach this zone, remember to drink water. I am drinking another water. It is mostly that I don't like warm up my throats every time I start streaming. It just fucks everything up. I swear to God, I drink at least 1.7 liters of water per stream, okay? So yeah. What's happening is that they are going to be in the zone, right? And they're gonna go back in time and they're gonna go live through the demonic invasion. But there is going to be something different. There's going to be something weird. Instead of demons having enslaved the entire world, I'm gonna make it so like they are gonna believe that they are in the demonic invasion because they are gonna think they're enslaved and they are like forced to do work and labor by an empire they never knew. But in reality, they are in a state controlled by vampires that is fighting the demon invasion and is being controlled by the leader of this region. And basically it's going to be up to the players if they want to side with the demons and destroy this vampiric invasion, if they did not think that it's good for the world for it to exist, or they can try and go to the village leader and change her mind a little bit and make her a little like try to make something better. Or they can also just go with the vampires and try to destroy the demons. They will make the vampires stronger and dominate the world. And that is going to be the theme for this section of the campaign, which is going to be Act 2. And that's basically this region. Also, another thing about what I said before, which is very important, every single, like, what I'm doing right here is that there is a Nexus Slave which has a lot of magical power, and depending what the players do in this campaign, I'm going to make it so that it has overreaching consequences throughout the world. For example, if they make the vampires win this entire war in this part of the campaign, I'm going to make that one of the regions of the world is now completely dominated by the Empire, and it actually exists as it has been manifested by the players completing the book. And that is how I'm going to make like this entire campaign flow into the world and make the actions actually matter and make them want to like be considerate with their actions. And I also going to give them a lot of liberty to get an ending they want and like fuck up, find something they want to do, and find different endings. Because all I want to do is to give a resolution to these stories. I am planning on giving them basically a lot of problems and an open book, which they are going to be writing for their actions. And depending on the finalization, it's going to give a little bit of a difference on the world, maybe better, maybe worse, who knows. And then there is another region, which is Truvala, which is a commerce region in the west of the city. Basically, this entire region is made for commerce and is the main seller of the magic trinkets. If you want to really get a magic trinket that usually is overflowing from this region of Leonora, you go to here, and makes sense, actions have consequences. I have already told you to them that this campaign is basically every single action you're gonna take has consequences. I have created a few methods which you're gonna see later on how I want to enforce that. But for now, Truvala. So Truvala is this commerce region in the west, where basically it's the entire way if you want a magic trigger to go there. But there is a problem. A lot of the time, let me get my water. So, a lot of the time, people go to the Lunar, right? And they go to Travala to get their goods. But there is a pandemic of changes happening in people. Basically, Travala, this effect is a little bit more seen, even though in Frasian and Vagram and Venari, this effect is also seen but in different ways. In Travala, what's gonna happen is that merchants that have stayed there for too long, we start to find that their bodies have gained magical properties which they might not like, and it's basically like a sickness that is just saying, oh, that, you know that place, Linear? Yes, there is a magical sickness that happens if you go there. It's like a plague. If you just stay there, your body is going to mutate, and depending on how close you are to the center of Lunar and Kada itself, the changes are going to like go faster and be more prominent. And in Truvala, those things are mostly banning. They don't really do much for you. They just give you a little bit like, oh, for now and forever, every time you hit your arm on something, it's going to light up into a bright light for 60 feet, something like that, right? That is the kind of thing that happens if you stay in Truvala. And then there is Venari, which is the south, and the south has the most consequences. This is basically the area where I want to place Apocalyptic Bard. Yes, Apocalyptic Bard is going to be on my campaign, and it's going to be in here. So the south of the city of Kata is basically an untamed forest, which has a lot of wild monsters, and usually people don't even count them monsters anymore, they just count them creatures, because, and this is very good English, because what happens is a lot of people go into Venari, right? They are bound into Venari, and they gain mutations, like your arm transforms into a cloud, that kind of stuff. Really, if you stay in this region for too long, you become a monster. Usually people that stay here, they have like enhanced combat abilities and are a lot stronger than others. But as a consequences, they have legitimately fucked up mutations, And this is about the time I talk about the center of the character, which is the main part of the campaign. Basically, in the main center of Kata is the Libera and the Nexus Lane. Because there is a lot of wild magic in there in the center of there because of Nexus Lane, of how the ley lanes go into that, which is basically Dragon Veins for magic. What happened is that every singular person that really goes too close to the center of the region just fucking disappears. It's very common for people to just get lost in the center of the area, and for the longest time that region has been a complete forest, but sometimes a few individuals called it a light. A few individuals who lived in Lunarat said that there was in the middle of the region a very bright pillar of light, and you can probably guess where this is going. So, because of this pillar of light, which is basically what's going to be the main point of the campaign as well, every person that goes in the middle, they just become monster. Every living creature that normally goes to the center of the city, they just become complete creatures, and a lot of hours just live in that middle in the forest. And there has been a lot of people that just say that the forest should not end it because it's harder to come out, since it seems like the place is bigger than it should be from the outside. And that is basically the city. I have told a little bit of this lore from one of the players because one of my players decided to make a character in the middle of Lunarath, and he's going to be a resident of Venari in specific. And here it is. Let me go get my player. Here, I made this little bit of lore for him, which is like 431 words for his lore to make him a lot easier for him. And I have added all these things of people mutating, of magical trinkets being gone, of the center of the place being extremely dangerous, and I also gave him a little bit more. This player is basically going to be Telibarian. By the IE, they are going to be the person that is most connected to the Libero in the campaign from the side of the players, and because of that, he has always gained a lot of power. He has always been stronger. He has always have like this extra oomph in himself, which no one managed to explain. But this is bad for him because people that usually gain a lot of power from the city, from Kata, they usually 100% of the cases they become monsters by the end of their life. Like they start mutating. The greater the strength you gain from the library, the more your body just fucks up beyond the normal cases. And this is how I'm going. And then now it's really important I talk about one of the main mechanics of this campaign, which is the light itself. Yes, I'm very original. I named it the Light and Libra Freno. So this is a little bit of text that is about the light. I'm going to leave it here. So I'm waiting for Brr. Sadly, none of my players are actually Project Men fans, but holy shit, I could give like Meng to a player, they would go, what the fuck? It would be so fun. They would legitimately go insane. I should do that. I actually should give Chi and Meng for a player. Holy shit. So yeah, every single one of the characters that are in this campaign, they are connected to the light one way or another. And Commander, which he did not give me the name of his character yet, is the one that is most connected in the most obvious way, because he's going to become, by the end of the series, a patron librarian, or someone that is entirely tied to the library itself. And the thing is, what I'm doing here is that I'm making so that this Nexus Lay, what it is doing is that it's showering the power it contains to a lot of people throughout the continent, and it's being capable of doing that because since it is a concentration of ley lines, one of the greatest that there is in the continent, it's just pulling since it's pulling the energy from a lot of places, it is starting to send energy to those places as well. And then that energy is being sent directly to people, which is the light. And the light is basically going to be something which helps a living being actualize the potential. And it's trying to manifest the aspirations, the strongest aspirations in the world. Yes, it's basically Libra Arena. And as of now, this really doesn't really occur because the Libra doesn't have much power in driver. But as the campaign works its way around, that is going to change, okay? And the way that this light is going to manifest into people depends on how my players use the library and what they do inside of it. So, and I've made it so that every single player lesson that enters the library are guests. And guests are basically just people that have a little bit more light to them. They have that a little bit more oomph in their hearts, that even though they were never encountered, they have been affected by this light and they have the potential to go over, which is basically what a player character is, right? Player characters become strong extremely quickly, extremely quickly, and they get a lot stronger than anyone in the world themselves can do, right? So because of that, I'm giving you this explanation. That spark, no? Yes, that spark. That's a good word. I'm gonna save it here. So yeah, because of that, every single player, I have gone giving like basically an excuse for why the players are so strong and why they can get so strong so quickly. And also, and that is basically a little bit of stretch for the light. I have to now go to explain the Libra itself. And this is where I'm gonna have to like paraphrase a little bit of things. And I'm going back into a little bit of the lot that I have yet to write, but I thought of and I want to utilize. So, water. Sorry, I should have muted my microphone. I'm stupid. So basically, what I'm gonna be doing is that in the middle of Kata, there is this bit of light that some people have said to see. And now they are going to be able to, a lot more people are going to be able to start seeing that light that are living in the city. And also they're going to start to see that in the place of that pile of light, library is going to start to manifest itself. And as long as the players start like finishing every single part of my story, which is going to go through every single major problem every section of the city contains, the library is going to get bigger and bigger and like manifest more and more and have more and more impact in the world itself. And the thing is, this is not a net positive for the world, because depending on how people use this is going to make a great catastrophe in the world itself. And then I have an explanation why this is happening. Why this Nexus late that existed for so long is suddenly like transforming into something which can be controlled by people and like forced to actualize and everything. Why is this happening now? And let me make a new further. Name it. What's the name for it? The backstory. That's good. And I have to name a character Dismas. So I am going to make Dismas in this campaign, and then I'm going to make a Jet here. So basically, what happened is that Dismas is going to be a member of this world, and she has a very big organization that is mostly a spy organization with a lot of people that have power, and mostly she tries to get people with magical potential in the organization. What is going to happen is that Dismas has forced the Liberator to manifest for a great ritual and sacrifice where she used herself and her entire organization as sacrifices to come so they can become a book. And basically what she wanted to do is that she started the process by using that automagical power and that ritual itself And what she has done is that she has started a motion for the library to construct itself. And then what she did as well is that she forces another character, which is called Moses, into her plan. Basically, what I want to do is that Dismas has, through a ritual, made a book for herself inside a book for herself where she is inside of the book and forced to be there until its realization. And inside of the book, she made it so that the Jet organization is an extremely strong organization with extremely powerful people, and she made like herself the king of the queen of the world by inside of that book, which she wrote herself. And the way that she made it so, but the problem is, something of that scale cannot be finalized with the library in its current state, right? The library has to come to a realization, more realizations, and become a more physical thing and something with more power in the world so that her plan actually works and she becomes one of the big players in the world. Because Dismas is not one of the big players in the world. And the thing is, there is in this world that we created already a very powerful organization where there is legitimately the only people, like there are people that can cast level 9 spells in a little corner of the world, and this must not of this organization, and she wants to become something as powerful as them, so they cannot do it. And this is the way they're gonna try to do it. Let me go read the message. Sunset of Death. Good name? Yippee! Okay, mute button. But this is the fun part of taking characters directly from Project Moon, because that thing of the Greeks, they probably, Project Moon, who actually made this character, probably thought of that, but I did not. I didn't think of it, I just ripped it. So yeah, that is my plan for the backstory, basically. And the thing is, because of this book, and this must also has another problem. Someone has to complete the realization of a book, and because she wants to make so much change in the world, she needs someone with real power to be capable of finalizing her book. And for that, she has forced Moses into the ritual itself by making it so that Moses tried to stop him, going to a base that she's operating with a lot of people to try and destroy her ritual and kill her for once and for all to end a Jot organization before they did whatever the fuck they were trying to do. But she failed to stop them, and because of that, Moses has a book that is tied to her soul and her person itself, which is Dismas realization. And Moses, basically, because of that as well, she has gained an insane amount of power, like ridiculous amount of power, enough that she went from level 11 to 13, and now she can cast custom level 7 spells, and she's also a Patron Librarian, the first and only Patron Librarian at this time of the writing. And the thing is, Dismas book can only be finalized once the realization of the library goes through, and the library itself just creates itself and becomes better. And then, two, only by the strongest people that are alive, and Moses is one of them. Because I think that I didn't specify till now is that every single one of my players, and Moses herself, is a lot stronger in the library themselves, because since they are these people with a lot of light inside of them, and they are strong by default, when they get into the library they become even stronger. And Moses is basically a level 18th caster. She has Nith level spells in one of the items, which has a pipe, and she has basically an artifact which is a legendary item and is completely fucking broken. And Moses, like, she has just gained a legendary item that even throughout outside of the library, where the effects of the library itself are a lot weaker. Oh yeah, that's another explanation I have to do. A lot of the things that you see throughout this campaign, they are gonna be inside this library, which is a world that does not exist. It's basically just an illusion. And inside the library, people have a lot more power. And the thing is, when you finish something inside the library, you come out with a little bit of the power it had inside. So, Moses has gained an artifact inside of the library itself and has gained an extremely powerful outing outside of the library. Is based in DS and she's based in in the ruins of one. That is very much what I want to do as well. There is very much what I want to do with her as well. So yeah, that is basically the story for Moses and Dismas, and it's basically the backstory of the world and why this entire thing is happening. And now you may be asking yourself, I'm gonna drink my water. Well, why would Moses is going to be a recurring character in this campaign and is basically going to be the main NPC my players are going to talk to get la lore and information on what the hell is happening around them. So, and Moses is going to be a character that's going to be helping them finalize the stories they're going to go through, and is going to give them a lot of help with information, everything they ever need to make sure that the realization of the area they're going through goes completely fine and has a good ending. And why is she doing that? It's basically because Moses, while she has the power to not end the book that Dismas gives her, she cannot stop she cannot stop what Dismas has started. She cannot stop the creation of the library itself and the changes it's going to do the world. She can only try to swerve the fate itself and make the future a little bit less bleak by making sure that the people that are trying to make doing these realizations go through a good path. So this is her job in this campaign. She's going to be the main NPC, a helper NPC, and Laura NPC, which is going to be helping them. Also, I have played this character before, so they know every single player and the previous DM that played DM me for this character knows a little bit of the backstory for her, and also knows how she talks, how she is morally, and they know she's a good morally person and that she usually just wants legitimately to make the world a better place. So the players themselves are going to have like some familiarity with her, which I think is really good. So this feels like a more conject history with itself. And this is basically what I'm doing for Moses. Also, another thing, why is Moses not participating in the other books? Yes, she has one book that is tied to herself, but she could go to other books. And yes, she could actually go to other books, but there is a problem in the library. The challenges that you face in the library are made it so that everyone that is weaker gets leveled up to the strongest person that they're gonna have to confront. So if Moses ended up entering the plot, yes, this is the plot. So if Moses ends up entering into one of the books, the entire thing is going to be an adventure made for level 20 characters that are extremely strong, and there are consequences to this. Remember how I said that the north region of Lunareth is connected to a lane that's connected to Valinor, which is an ancient city where a demon still resides and is currently being held back by like hopes and prayers and is trying to make his way back into the world. I didn't say all that, but that's basically what's happening in Valinor. And we learned all of that for another campaign that we played, which is not DM'd by me. And so basically, if Moses enter into one of these books, what's going to happen is that the demon that is being held in the north in Valinor is going to be capable of manifesting into the book, because the only thing that is tied to Vagran, which is capable of going against Moses, is that demon himself. And because of that, she's basically incapable of going and helping the players directly. And that is the part why she is literally, really trying to make sure that whoever is delivering and is starting to make these books is a decent person and that they can actually do the books correctly. And that is basically the motivation, backstory of Moses. This must gives the motivation and backstory of the entire campaign itself, and gives a driving point, and gives like some problems that can be talked about later for other plot points, and gives it like the overarching plot as well. And then now we can finally talk about what the players are going to be facing, which is the Vagrant realization. And basically what Vagrant is in itself, it is a city of vagrants. Vagrant is a city where people that have already failed their dreams and have nowhere else to go to like pass the last days of their life in misery. The city itself is a permanent ruin. It's always dark. There are basically no colors, and it feels like colors fade when you enter the city. And the thing is, inside the city, there is one very important person, and that person is Carmish. Carmish, he was an old mercenary who lost his arm and basically lost his teammates and gave up on being a mercenary, and is now just like unwashed up Reynard Fitzer. Am I right there? What the? Yeah. And Carmish is just this old mercenary that just fucked up his life and doesn't have an arm. He runs an old bar. And as I said here, he's basically very opportunistic. He also prioritizes himself a lot. And he suffers from extremely heavy remorse from his remorse because he does have a sense of morality. And because he's an opportunistic as well, and tends to prioritize himself. What made his backstory be is that basically he went on a mission, and the mission started to go badly, and he was the first person to book it. He fucked over his teammates so he could survive, and that basically gave him like survivor's guilt, and now he just can't live with himself. And he did that after he lost his arm, so it's like, okay, I have to run, I don't want to die, fuck all of you. And he just ran away, sacrificing his bodies, and now he's just it's related to Homo settlement. Get me out, awesome. Exactly! I actually did a little bit of research to make the CD have this meaning. So yeah, that's basically what Carmish is on appearances. And why is he so important? He's important because he was actually an old member of an organization called the Carcass of the Wolf. The Carcass of the Wolf was an organization where one of the strongest person that was there, which is a level 3 character, was Ryosha, which by the name that is from Project Moon, you can probably guess as one of my characters, and she's going to be part of the plot as well. But for now, all we need to know is that Ryosha is a character that is actively working in Valimar, and because of that, Carmish, who is in Vagrant, has a connection to Valimar itself because he is an old work buddy of Rishan. And because of that, he's going to be the chosen main character villain. Maybe you decide that. I don't know how it's going to work. And he's going to be the person that the players are going to have to interact with and fix or maybe break more. And kill to finish the realization of this area. And basically, what happened to him was that they were in a mission to raid a castle and fell its leader. So, not a castle, a settlement, a a combat settlement. They were tasked with destroying that place because the Carcass of the Wolf was a mercenary group which mostly did like missions on just destroying like fortified positions and places where it's actually dangerous and you would not want to throw your own army at, but you would very much want to just throw mercenaries into the place so they can like weaken the position, maybe kill someone of importance. And I think that the Carcass of the Wolf was very famous for is that they took every single mission, which was a suicide mission, basically. Every time the group had to go to a place which was extremely dangerous and no one wanted to do the job because it was basically just sending soldiers to die, they would do it, and the success rate was actually pretty high. And why was that? It's because of Ryoshu. Ryoshu is one of my characters and she was an extremely powerful swordswoman, and even on the campaign we played, she was legitimately a monster, and she's level 3, which basically means she is strong enough to be a royal guard in most of the continent. So she was a differentiation. Legitimately, she should not be there. She was just way too powerful to be working in this mercenary group, but she was a battle junkie and still is a battle junkie. So she was just working with these people so she could get the fucking worst missions ever and still win. So of course, the Carcass of the Wolf, I am still trying to think of a better name. Now in Portuguese, it works very well. But in English, it's a little bit worse. They were just contracted to go basically on a fortified position that was inside a hill, on elevation with walls, and they were tasked with killing the leader of the place. And that place also had a lot of strong people defending it because it was there was a fight between some cities, maybe kingdoms. I don't really care about it is because it's not a part of my plot. And that was one of the forward positions that was very well defended, and it was known to be like a fortress that people just couldn't take down, even though it wasn't very well defended, but it was a knowing position, and like it was well defended actually. And people just couldn't fucking do it, so they just contracted this fuckers so they could at least weaken it, and then they would make a campaign later to kill them. I touched the microphone, I'm really sorry. And that is what they wanted to do. And sadly, Ryoshu took the mission, looked at it, said, yes, we are fucking doing it. And she made the entire plan to kill them. But basically, this was the last mission Ryoshu was going to do in this group because she wanted to go and travel to Valema, which sounded to be a place of greater value to her. So she knew this mission was actually impossible. What people never realized is that Ryoshu was actually pretty smart on what she chose to do. Even though her missions were mostly known as being suicide missions, she only took missions where, by being her and being really strong as a swordswoman, she could basically tip the scales into her favor and win a little bit of some good skirmishes, which completed the objective, and then she just left. That was how she mostly won things. And in Mawata, but this time she knew. She knew this mission was gonna be fucking impossible. So what she did was that she placed every single one of her troops in a bad position, so they would be bait, and then she went alone to the castle herself to kill the target she needed, the priority target, and leave. And what happened was exactly what she thought would happen, and every single member but Karmish of the Carcass of the Wolves died that day, and minus Ryoshu and Karmish, every single member died that way because they basically were placed in a trap by their own leader, and she did not care. And Karmish was just like a victim. he didn't really do much. He couldn't do much. He just tried to survive, and because of that, he had to sacrifice his own bodies to save his life, and that gave him a lot of trauma, which is going to be explored. Because, as I said before, the light basically goes to a person and tries to get that latent potential into them and bloom it into something. And Karmish, he actually was pretty good at his job. He was pretty freaking strong. He was like a level 1 character, which is a lot. And he was very suffering big character, exactly. But he couldn't reach his potential because Ryushi basically stomped his head. And one of the things that Karmish really hated was how weak he was compared to her, because he knew if he was as strong as she was, he could have literally have wiped the freaking floor of the entire expedition that tried to kill him. He could have done so much more. He could have been better. It's his fault that he couldn't save his teammates. It's his fault that he was not strong enough. And that's basically what's passing through his mind always. And this is what's going to be exploited in delivering. So I have separated 3 stages for this area, for Vagrim itself, which is a section of 4 of my campaign. And basically, what the players need to do in stage 1 is that they are going to go to a place. I still haven't decided how to create it. I'm going to give you the idea I've given, and then I'm going to expand on that a little bit. And the thing is, what I want to do in stage 1 is going to be solely focused on Karmish and trying to like learn his character, learn what happened to him, and trying to either deny his purpose, which is in the end deny what the misconception he has in his head, which is that it's better than me, and like show that there is another way for it. Or maybe you try to show to like just reinforce that yes, there is only one person that matters, and it's me. And then you can do that for this part of the campaign, and that's going to do another thing for the ending. And there is a third also a thing that you also have to do in Conject, which is you have to show him through your actions that you are stronger. Because one thing that plagues Karmish was that he was weak, and there was someone that was a lot stronger than him on top of that food chain, and he could do nothing to compare. That is basically the 3 points that you have to keep in mind while you're doing this section of the campaign. And it's also the 3 things that I'm going to be looking into to decide what is going to be the ending and give to the players. And also, depending on what of these 3 points they follow, the fight is going to be different as well. I'm going to explain it later. I'm going to drink my water now. So yeah, they have all of those things, right? And this is a little bit of the greater power than I didn't expect. I am very happy if they do it. If they manage to if they manage to make a far alternative, which I did not expect, I am going to take that as a valuable exit and give them a reward for it, a custom reward depending on what they do. But basically, those are the 3 questions I want answered in this section of the campaign. Are you selfish, or are you capable of helping others and placing them above yourself? Do you become strong in unity, or are you selfish? Are you capable of Are you capable of being strong enough to not be taken by the waves of fate, or are you just weak? And then I don't wait. That's why I'm streaming this, by the way, because I'm just saying this without placing it. Emiya Shiro. Yes, Emiya Shiro is the past name, so true. So yeah, this is one way which I'm gonna do it for them to like show this entire thing to them is through the Undertaker arm, which is a weapon, that is a physical presentation of Karmish and visualization itself. And basically, what is going to be done here is that he's going to have this arm. One of the players is going to like go into the book, and the arm is going to be changed into this. And they are going to give them some powers which have drawbacks. And yes, you could use the powers, but this is that the cloud? It's just the cloud is a little bit too far over for them right now. They're level 3. So basically, this arm is really the representation of Kamish. And because of right now, we love Serendip. We actually love Serendip. That one is fucking goated. Basically because he's mostly the starting, which means that he's going through a lot of negative emotions, and this arm is not going to give you powers that is going to help you like be selfless. This arm is going to first give you power, but the power is going to fuck your teammates over. What I'm going to be doing is that at the first stage, this arm give you the pack ability for moves, but the thing is, it's going to give you an advantage on the next attack, but it also gives advantage on any enemy attacking the ally you utilize to give advantage on this attack. So if you use pack tactics from the Undertaker arm, you are going to make your friend more fragile, and you're going to make yourself stronger. And if they want to, they can use it. I don't care. But they are going to know that just using this for nothing is going to come at a cost. Yes, and basically, one way they can do to like show to me that they are trying to do this together is that they cannot use this arm and just leave it be. That is going to have changes in the end. And the thing is, yes, and one of the things that I'm going to very heavily say is that Kamish has a phrase that he has engraved in his arm, which is going to be engraved on the arm of the Undertaker as well, which is rather than you and me. And then there's also going to be one, if you get a good ending, which is you don't go through Kamish like delusions, you can go and say you are going to get a version that is also unity very strong, and this basically is going to give the players more advantage in a group than for themselves. But I also have a lot of power-ups, which I'm gonna talk later, to give to people that are with this arm and are developing it. But yeah. And then, how do I actually want to show the story to the players? I am going to make a few scenes for them, and I'm going to start writing them now because I have just been yapping, and I think it's important for me to actually write it. So basically, they are going to be told. Basically, what's gonna happen is that at the beginning, they are going to wake up and just be in the middle of the library with Moses in front of them. And the thing is, I made it so I told my players to make 4 characters that have never known or interacted with each other. So there are 4 strangers, and Moses is going to give them a little bit of exposition and a little bit of information on what they are fighting. And she's going to try and like manipulate them, obviously, to do something she wants to, but she's also going to try and connect them to make sure they don't fuck themselves over. And I am hoping that me making my players very disconnected from each other creates a little bit of friction in the group, so they can like be antagonistic with each other. Since another campaign we played, we legitimately had TPKs in the middle of the campaign. We had actual TPKs, both by idiocy and by actual malevolence. Like, we had a character be permanently dead and executed in the middle of the street because another player character did something so fucked, and they like legitimately angered the crime lord of the city, and because of that another player character got executed in the middle of the street. We are normalized that actions have consequences. So yeah, in the beginning, I'm just gonna do a little bit of Moses exposition. I'm going to explain to them what's the book, what's the library itself. I'm also going to explain to them that whatever they do inside there, there's going to be payment actions, and I'm just going to tell them whatever I told you, a little bit of the Moses backstory and what is happening. I'm not gonna spill all of the beans because there's no point in them. And she also, Moses doesn't believe in them as much. So with time, they are going to learn more. And then, how are the players actually going to know every single bit of lore made of Kamish and what they actually have to do? I'm first going to separate this first act of the story into 3 little parts. The first one is going to be exposition, which is going to start with Moses, and then it's going to continue when they end the book and they get into this old basin. And basically what they're gonna make him is that inside this bar, there is going to be Kashmish and every single member of his old group, minus Ryoshin, and they're just going to be there. And the first thing they have to do is find who is the actual main character in the middle of this and who they should be talking to. Because I'm going to make it so that every single character that appears in this place is just a representation of how Kamish remembers them. And to make them sure that the players understand this, I'm going to make some characters have more details on their face and like look like a real person. And I'm going to make a few of the characters that are not going to be in the center of the bar to be just completely like faceless, and but not in a creepy way, but just in like, oh, you cannot see it. It feels like there is a blur over their face and you can only tell the kind of general body proportions they had and that kind of stuff. Oh shit, we have to find the stand user. Who could it be? The stand user. Like, yeah. But, oh my god, oh shit, I picked my microphone. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then I am going to have the players like just interact in the bar and try to get information, right? Because that seems like a good idea. And I am going to time them. I'm going to also like try and create a little bit of backstory for every single NPC that is there with varying amounts of depth. And if the characters just if they naturally somehow manage to like, oh, how was your infancy? What did you do as a kid? Maybe that makes the character bugs out or like give a very weird answer that is not stream current at all, and that is the clue the players are gonna have that they need to talk to someone else, right? And the thing is, I'm going to be timing this section, and if the players they take too long to find the real NPC, some stuffs are going to happen. First, the characters that are not really important, they are just gonna be dead, and like the bar itself is going to become more creepy, and like things are going to start to rot, the world is going to start to just freaking break, and people are going to start having like mortal wounds. And the thing is, this is not the stage where Kamish is revealed, because Kamish, remember, he lost an arm. So everyone is going to have like a war wound right now, but they are going to act like everything's normal and there is nothing going on. And now the players are gonna like, oh shit, we have to go and find who the fucker we need to find faster, and we need to understand what we have to do here. And this is basically me trying to make sure to pace the session and give it a little bit of pressure on the players for me to do this puzzle and do these interactions. And then the thing is, in this other stage, like Kamish is not gonna have an eye, people are not gonna have eyes, and you just have to go and keep stalking. And then once they like single out who Kamish is, I am going to, instead of just stalking normally, like it's just another character, I'm going to like start developing a bit of what Kamish did, what his trauma is, until the players just hit the sound of wolves in the background, and people, and then like wolf carcasses start like showing up in the windows, and Kamish start going insane until the entire place just explodes. And then they are got thrown into the next scene, which is oh yes, I wanted, yes, that, which is the forest. I'm gonna make it like this. Then they are going to be thrown into like a random forest with a mountain over the distance, and this place is the first time they're going to be able to be, and this place is kind of physically in Vagram, but it's a different Vagram, a black forest. And then yeah, black forest, actually a black forest, like, so it's going to be mostly in Vagram, and it's going to be a representation of the place, and there is going to be like the mountain. And the thing is, when the players look around, I'm gonna narrate a little bit, and I'm gonna make them, they look around, and they are going to be able to see the pillar of light and the complete library just constructed from it, and also from peeping around the corners, they are also going to be able to see the like demon-filled a demon-filled world, which you cannot really tell what's happening. And from the left, you're gonna be able to see a little bit of the other places as well, if I manage to construct it, what I want to do with it. And then I am going to start harassing the players with maps. Basically, what I want to do here is make sure that they understand a little bit of what the mechanic is. And this is going to be an exploration phase where the players are going to be continuously attacked with a little bit of wolves. And the thing is, it is recommended, depending on, they players have choices, right? They can start trying to kill these wolves, or they can just try to sneak around. If they sneak around, I'm going to make it so that there are more, what's the name of it? There are more mobs in the last fight, but Kamish himself is weaker. And if they kill the wolves and just keep killing, I'm going to make it so that the wolf, that Kamish is a lot stronger, but there are a lot less wolves in it, because through the part of the outbusting, I expect the players to understand that the name of the previous group that Kamish was inside of was the carcass of the wolves, and the more wolves they kill, it's a representation of the members of old Kamish groups dying. So they should not be killing his old buddies, and I'm going to make sure they understand that after they kill enough wolves. If they do that, I am going to make like a very obvious like marker. I'm thinking of making so that lightning strikes, a lot of lightning just strikes the top of the mountain, and a very loud goes out. And now every single wolf they find throughout the forest is a carcass of itself, and it's a zombie wolf. To show them what they're doing and try to make them understand what's happening behind the scenes. And then, after they get harassed a little bit by the wolves, I am going to give them a sneak peek. It was such business. No. This is the Dark Forest. Is not in Vagram, guys. The Dark Forest is in Venari. Venari is the place where the monsters and creatures live on, and that is a place where I'm going to make the big bird, the attack bug. Pengrave just kind of got a forest and wolves because of it. And I'm also going to make us an area where they're going to find a Pokebird. They are going to find a little bit of like a sneak peek at what I have prepared for Truvalla. Not Truvalla, Frashen. And right after, they are going to be pulled into a well of darkness, and they are going to fight a person, a swordswoman with no face and no like definitive features, and that person is going to be Riashan, and I'm gonna drink my water. Yeah, you find out three birds and do pieces together. Let's go. I still don't really know how I'm gonna do it, but I want the region, Venari, the realization to fight itself, to be legitimately just a monster-filled place where there is no such thing as a person to follow. It's legitimately survive and destroy the creatures, but the thing is, every single creature has special abilities, and the only way for you to really win the fight is to learn what a little trick you have to do to kill them is. And you cannot just go forward and try to kill them, otherwise they're immortal, or just do too much damage or something. But the moment you learn how to fight them, it becomes easier. I want this area to be that. But going back to the forest, after they get a little bit of tidbit, I made for Frashen and made maybe Truvalla as well. They are going to go into the void, get put into the void, and then they're gonna find the swordswoman, which is Riashan. And the thing is, this is a fight, which is they from talking in old bar. They also supposed to get information that there was a very extremely swordswoman, and that was the leader of the group, and that she was a person that was extremely valued at 1v1s, and they were also supposed to understand that Karmish sees that person as a very extremely powerful one, that he legitimately wanted to be capable of winning in a 1v1 battle. And they are also supposed to understand that this person that they're finding right now, which is just a shadow of a person, is that one that they were talking about, and that they are supposed to 1v1 this character, or instead of just trying to dogpile on her. And basically, what they're gonna do is that they're gonna be fighting Ryoshin, and there's going to be two versions of this fight. Either one when they fight together, and one where they fight 1v1. If they fight together, automatically Vagrant Kamish is going to become stronger, and also automatically, because he's going to fit into his delusion that there is no much such thing as true strength, and then he's just not capable of getting enough strength to beat that woman, and that she's just different, and he's never going to be capable of doing that. And because of that, they are going to have to. Kamish is going to become stronger, and if they try to 1v1 her, if they lose, they are also going to get that debuff. But if they win, they are going to get a buff on the entire party, and the person that won the duel is going to gain special benefits that are going to travel through the entire campaign, including outside of the world. So if they one day you want to utilize that character outside the library, that character is going to be stronger by default than a normal character because of the actions they took here. And that is basically going to be this fight. Also because I want the last fight to be really big and be very oh, this shit is serious. I'm going to give them a long rest after the Ryosho fight, and then there is only really one thing to do, which is the mountain. The peak. Yeah, this looks more cool. And in the peak, they are going to fight Kamish. And depending on the actions, the Kamish is going to be stronger or not. Now let me go to Foundry to show you the little thingy I made for him. Just one moment. I'm just looking if there's something here that I can do. No! So, Kamish, I made his little bit of thing here. Basically, he has pack tactics because he's a wolf. He has a lot of HP, considering that these are level 3 characters. He has 120 HP, 15 AC, and he does a lot of damage. And also in this fight, there are going to be a lot of die rolls that are going to just be around him to help. And he has some abilities. Pink bong enemy, the pink, the one. Yeah, that would become. Also, I'm sorry, but AI warning. And the thing is, there is 2 mechanics that are extremely important for this character. It's Electric Surge and Better You Than Me. If the characters done action, which makes Karmish just feed into his delusion, not this, Electric Surge. If they made actions that just made Karmish feed into his delusion, and that he just should be alone, he is not strong enough, and he needs to sacrifice others to become stronger, and that he is just there is nothing to do, and he does not get to strength and that kind of stuff. It just feed into Karmish delusion. I am going to give him a charge of Electric Surge. What is Electric Surge? Every single charge of this makes him add 1d4 plus 1 for every damage roll. So let's see here. This is a bite attack for him. It's 1d10 plus 5 damage plus 1d4 if they keep adding. And as a wolf, he's going to do 2 attacks per turn, if I remember correctly, which is Claw and Bite. And he's just gonna do 2 attacks per turn. And if you keep feeding him in this illusion, he's just gonna keep doing a lot of fucking damage. And he's going to do a lot in the end of the day. But then, there is the second mechanic of the fight, which is Better You Than Me. And this is, I'm thinking of redoing this mechanic a little bit, because the way I did this is that if this creature lost, if they do 40 damage to Karmish and one of the members of its pack is around him, he instantly sacrifices that member and gains 30 temporary hedge points and gains a stack of Electric Surge. Why? Because I'm gonna keep it that way. Because this is a representation of Karmish's delusion, and he thinks in his head that it's better for him to sacrifice his allies than for him to die himself. So every time you keep trying to kill him, he's just going to sacrifice one of the wolves around him and kill and get a lot of HP. And another thing I said, that if they do not kill the wolves that are around the forest, there's going to be more adds in the fight. This is exactly why it's important. If they do not kill the wolves in the middle of the forest, there is going to be more dire wolves in the middle of the fight that are going to deal with Karmish, which means that they are going to have to be more cautious about trying to kill him. But if they go and kill every single one of the wolves, Karmish is not going to be able to use his passive, but he's going to have more charges of Electric Surge, so it's going to be more about killing him as quickly as possible before he kills you. If you didn't give him a lot of Electric Surge, you can kill him by just taking your time, which is necessary, because if you don't give him Electric Surge, it means that you let his pack alive, and that this passive is going to be very fucked for you. And that is basically the fight I prepared for my players. Also, if you think this mob looks a little bit too strong for a party at level 3, I have basically given every singular one of my players custom abilities. I'm going to give them custom power-ups, like this is a custom class that we made for this player, the Crimson Hunt. This was not me, okay? This was him. This is a custom subclass that I made for the player, which is statistically stronger than every single class of the Ranger. If I remember correctly, it does in average 3 more points of damage than a normal Ranger would do. And he has some custom abilities. This is the one of the things he did. Also, another thing, I am very much a player. As a player and I DM, I am one of the people that really like number crunching in D&D, and because at the group I play with, we all already have read like dozens of Dragon magazines, and we are extremely experienced with the system itself. It's very okay for every single one of us, basically, to make characters that are strong. So it's very common for us to just understand the underlying mechanics. And I know that I gave this player more power than I should have had, because the entire kit for his ability is more strong numerically than a normal ranger should be, and that is fine for me. I also gave this other player a subclass, a custom subclass, though that has more power, but for some godforsaken reason, he decided that he didn't want to use it, and now every single one of the work that I did for him is gone. And if you pay attention to the art he got, you can see that he has a metal arm. Which means that this is perfect. He's going to be the one to like the Undertaker arm, because he already doesn't have a right hand. Like, it's legitimately perfect for me. Like, no, this is a clown. He does have his arm, but look at this. It legitimately connects so well that he's not gonna have the right arm because he has something like this. And yes. And then there is another character. Oh, this is the commander character, foreshadowing. Yes. Gaffer. I didn't remember his name. And basically, he's the character that has the custom background that I'm gonna do, and he's stronger than everyone else, right? What I have not told him, but that I'm going to be doing, is that this character is going to have tough, and that also as well, he's going to have every max health on every single hit die. So this character has a stronger subclass than normal, so she's stronger than normal character and does a lot of fucking damage. This character has more max health than he should have. He basically has the maximum he's allowed to have. And this character is going to have the first custom ability, custom item I made for the campaign, and they are going to be my free players. I made more characters for other people, but because of me not really doing this in the time table that I gave them, and just lack of interest, they are not going to be playing. So this is how I made it, and this is how I am going to do my campaign. And another thing that is really cool is that this guy is going to be taking the village of Argram. This girl is a vampire, and if you remember, in my campaign, there is a region that is ruled by vampires, and most of the campaign itself is going to revolve around vampirism. So this girl is going to take the item for that region of the campaign, and if you remember correctly as well, you have Gaffer, and Gaffer is going to become a patron librarian because he's the one that is most connected to the library itself. So he is going to gain power because he is just connected to the library itself. So every single one of the 3 characters that was playing the campaign has a unique way to interact with it, and is going to gain a unique type of power that is going to be expanded for the campaign. And that's basically all of my planning, the planning I have for this first reading of the campaign itself. And this is my characters and everything. I help them like ever. I remember that this fucker, he wanted a lot of custom, like, you know, these borders. This is custom borders that we got from the internet, and the thing is, they are not cut out correctly. So can you see here? There's a little bit of white. It's because this area is supposed to be like a PNG, but the PNG was not PNG, so I had to manually make the PNG. It was annoying. It was so goddamn annoying. So, how much HP is a barbarian? Oh, let me give this to him already. Next, background proficiencies, come on. Oh shit, that was dancing. Let me try and not break the character that he has. Character resident. Oh, is this already it or no? No, this is not it. Yeah, already made his thingy. I'm just gonna edit it a little bit. I'm gonna give it. Oh Jesus! It's working on Foundry is so weird sometimes because I don't remember sometimes what I'm doing. Features, creature traits. Now this is for the Dungeon Master. I'm the wrong one. Bless Handybook fits. Already fits. And tough. Okay. Yep. He can edit everything else. I as a player and a DM, I don't care what the backgrounds do to you. Legitimately, you know, I'm of the mind that yes, races should give you special bonuses and special feats that are tied to that race itself, but your background should be whatever you want. Every single time I've played the campaign, I DM the campaign, I've told to my players and I told to my DM, okay, I really want to make a custom background for my character. Can I do it? And they always told me yes. And every time I tell the player that, they also take it and they also do their own background because it connects with the character more and it works better. Like, it just works better when the character you do has a background which you wanted to do, which is more connected, because that is what it means, right? A background is the backstory of a character. It should be custom. Like, I hate that this is not normal custom. Select, nuts. Did not give him... Oh, jeez, I didn't give him tough. Fucking Foundry! No, I made it optional. God damn it, that's why I didn't give him. Oh my god, damn bass. Okay, does he have much health? He does not. Incredible. He does not seem to have gained more much health. That is so lovely. Every time I do something, I'm afraid of breaking the... Oh, yep! Hell yeah! Now, let me pull out the calculator to get his much health. And still multiplied by 3, plus 12 multiplied by 3, plus 3 multiplied by 3. He has 51 HP. Oh my god, this is so bullshit. Yes, he's going to be very strong. Let me give him a long rest as well. And you know what I said about that character that I made for him, for this player being extremely strong? This is a level 3 character damage. She does 1d12 plus 3 plus 1d6 plus 3. She does a lot of damage and she does this every single attack, okay? It's legitimately a little bit too much. This is so strong. Hit point very balanced. Very balanced. I'm pretty sure she does another attack with this. So it's 2 attacks. Yeah, yes. She does 2 attacks. Why did you place musket? Yeah. So yeah, this character is going to be a very strong tank with 51 HP. And this one is going to be... Oh my god, I'm gonna have to make the Undertaker arm actually make him stronger. Holy shit, he's so weak. Isn't this illegal? This should be illegal. This is not okay. Bro, this is a melee character and this is a ranged one. Why the fuck? There is so much difference. Oh my god, did this play actually... No, they have 2 constitution as well. Oh. Oh my fucking god. This is... Yeah. Yeah, I'm buffing. I'm legitimately buffing him the Oh my god, I pressed the button. I'm legitimately buffing him the millisecond. When I laughed in the physical, it makes sense. It's because the characters are melee. They take too much. They took too much wounds, and and then the max HP gets reduced. That's why they have more HP. And I was thinking of something. I just forgot it. As you can see, I have not prepared much. This is the only map I done. This is my only 2 maps. The music I'm thinking of playing for this card. And yeah. Moses. I have a lot of characters as well. You know what I did though? I did make Moses' character sheet, and I placed every single scroll here, every single spell here. I legitimately placed every single spell for her. I don't think I finished doing these girls' weapons and everything. I don't think I'm gonna do it either. But this is basically the first stage of the campaign, and what I really have done for the players. I have to flash it down a little bit better and write it to make sure I remember it during the section. I also need to place a little bit of maps, get a little bit more art for NPCs and names, and then I should be capable of just doing the session itself. I'm pretty confident I have most of things prepared. Yeah, this is the custom background that the monk was supposed to get, which I was going to... Virtuoso. Oh, fuck off. Which was going to buff to make him stronger, but he didn't want it, so... And wait, let me go to this character and see how much damage she does. Okay, so this is how it works, okay? She's going to do one of these. Dava doesn't care. She's going to do one of these into one of these every singular turn. So a level 3 character, if I was OP, nothing's OP, correct. Actually correct. So a level 3 character has just done 22 plus 17 damage on 1 turn. That's what I mean by everyone is stronger. I just have to buff the monk and everything's going to be okay. GG. GG. Now you understand why Kamish has legitimately 120 fucking HP. Kamish has 120 HP for a reason. Also, another thing is that I like the critical role rates, where you do a lot of damage with critical rates. So this is a singular critical hit. A singular crit by this character does 40 damage at level 3. It's very strong. It's legitimately very fucking strong. And because this girl is a ranger, she has spells. And look at the spells she has. She has Cure Wounds, and his name is Track, which is a very good thingies. Hair of Thoughts and Goodberry. Bruh, she is extremely powerful. And yeah, but this is basically as powerful as she's really gonna get for the entire campaign, because I am not giving the enemy player and the barbarian player any more power until their respective pieces of the story. And the person that is going to really glow up here is this monk, which is the weakest. Legitimately, the person that is supposed to glow up the most is the weakest guy. This is just too perfect. This is legitimately way too perfect. Oh my god. But yeah, that is also what I'm gonna be doing. Also, I am going to do an intermission a little bit, because I am going to get more water because I drank too much of it, and then I'm going to come back to tell you what is stage 2 of this campaign and then stage 3, because basically what I'm doing right now is that I'm trying to make it so that at least for the first one there are going to be 3 acts of Vagrant. The first stage is going to be mainly focused on Kamish himself. The second stage is going to be focused on the mission where everything went wrong. I'm going to explain a little bit more of what I'm to do there. But it's basically the players are going to have to fight the players are going to have to do the mission Kamish failed to do. And stage 3 is going to be about Ryosho and Valama itself. And then I'm gonna do a lot of stuff but I'll be back in just 1 minute. I'll be back. I'm back! So, it's time to talk about the second stage of this campaign. So, what is the second stage going to be? Second stage is going. Let me rename this, and because this was I said this before. Before I had all these ideas, and I'm saying right now, I had a different idea of how I wanted to make this campaign, but it legitimately was so shit. It did not work very well, and I thought it was really bad. It was one of the reasons, and the main reason also why I didn't want to really do this campaign in the moment I was doing it, because it just was not good. I am gonna be honest, it was just not good, and I had to take a time off to think about the things I'm saying and all the things I'm preparing right now. And I think that I have a lot bad idea of what I want to do. And that what I'm gonna do right now is going to be a lot more fun to do itself to do instead of what I was attempting to do before. Let me rename this Tibet. Realization. And this is stage 2. Let me make another folder. Realization. And oh shit! I broke everything. Okay, and this is going to be named there's consequences. And inside of the realization, we are going to go. I'm not very good with names, so I'm just gonna name this Castle. No, I can't. It's not a Castle. It's a fucking fortified position. Settlement. Yes, settlement. Fortified settlement. Okay. And basically this, oh my god, this thingy is getting very much, there is a lot of stuff going on. And what is stage 0 though? Oh shit. Is it not? Oh, it's because it's not a reference, okay. It's because none of these stage 1 thingies are referenced, so it's not showing. Vagrant. Yeah, I can make sure that. Oh Jesus, so annoying. Wait, how do I make the little? I forgot how to make my own fucking thing. Oh no, oh just now I'm gonna have to learn how to make it so that stuff I do has a little arrow going to them. Where is Valgrim? Valgrim has Kamish, Kata. Oh, okay, I understand now. There is Fang right over here. Oh, this is so unorganized. This is absolutely disorganized. Holy shit. I'll do it later. I know what, I can just Vagrime. Oh no, that's not what I want. Like this, and then just so it makes more sense. Yeah, now we have all of this very well connected. Yep. Okay. What is going to be space check? That is going to be the fortified settlement. What I'm gonna do? Oh shit! I was not even showing Obsidian. I'm so stupid. Sorry. So stage 2 is going to be. Oh, I haven't been showing Obsidian for so long. Okay, I'm completely stupid. So I'm gonna be doing the fortified settlement. What this is supposed to do is that the players are gonna have to do the fight that Kamish and his group tried to do and failed, and depending on the results they manage to get, it's going to positively affect the world and negatively. I have yet to decide how this works. I'm also going to give the players the option to be smart. I'm just going to give like this. This is going to be my attempt at doing something that is more open, such as just giving the players more options to do whatever they want to do, and making it more of an open world thingy instead of just a railroad, and just give them the settlement, which they have some time to plan. And basically the only thing that I really have meant to do is that they have to break the settlement and manage to finalize the thingy. And the thing is, they are not gonna get the mission that Karmish got. They're going to, what did I miss? A lot of yapping. Like a lot of yapping. Before the water break, I basically finalized what I'm gonna do for stage 1 of the campaign, and now I'm talking about stage 2, which is going to be the players fight and stuff out, the more modern type of modification. And it's going to be more of a stuff out, yes. It's gonna be like just a settlement on top of a mountain. I want it to be somewhat simple, but it's going to be like a place where it would be fucking difficult to get. And the thing is, Yeah, it's going to be very like old-fashioned because the campaign itself and what we're doing is very old and like 15 1400s technology type of old, more day-ish kind of thingy, and this without magic, and this entire place they're going to be allowed to do whatever they want. If they want to like try to break this for some bullshit, they can try to do it. And the thing is, they are maybe they get this note from the stage 1 in the basin. Now the mission Kamish got, that the mission they actually had to do was are you D&D game coding? The menu is diabolical. This is D&D, okay? You might not like you might not like it, but this is what a big GM noting looks like. I didn't even really finish this. I have to like brush out a lot of this, and it's gonna look a lot of complex as well. But yeah, this is what peak performance looks like. And they are going to give this information for the outbassing. And if they took notes, they might remember it. But the mission that they had from the original mission was actually to execute the commander inside the fort and not to destroy the fort itself. But the mission that they're going to get for Ryosho, which is basically the one that commanded the group that Kamish was with, is going to be to like try and destroy the fort. And and the players, they have to realize that the mission is not what they've been told, and that there is a disconnect between the two. And now I'm gonna give them a choice. Do you want to actually destroy the fort like was your told to, which was the mission that Kamish got them, and the mission that Kamish tried to do and failed to because it was bait? Or are you going to just try to do the mission that you actually are supposed to be doing? And both of them are going to have consequences. Basically, trying to do the original mission and just trying to kill the commander is going to make them players actually find Ryosho on the commander's like table, and Ryosho is going to be rating and them saying, don't you understand? This is a theater. This is more of a scene in a battle, and you have just broken the act. And then the entire place is going to like just completely destroy itself, as they are gonna have to do another boss fight with Kamish, but this one is going to be diabolical because this is basically the bad ending of this entire area. Because instead of like trying to evolve the history and trying to finish the book, they tore a hole through the entire story and did something that was not supposed to happen, and because of that, like the entire thing just falls apart, and now they have to just like go through with fast power, and even if they manage to win it, the consequences that it is going to have in the real world is going to be like more negative. I'm still deciding on what I'm going to do specifically, but that is the idea I want to do. And then there is a second option, which is actually destroying the fort. But then they can think, they know that the mission they actually have to do is not destroy the fort. They only need to buy time for Ryosho to kill the commander, and then they can leave later. And this is Ryosho's plan as well. Because what they might not know is that what they're not gonna be knowing is that the Ryosho that is in this book is not a fake version. This is the real Ryosho that is from Valimar, and she's a lot stronger now. So the enemies she's going to be facing are also stronger, but because of her new power, she's going to try to rush to kill the commander, and just make it so that this ends as fast as possible, so the group that is distracting the guards can try to get out faster. Because since Ryosho is a character with more levels and more power, I am going to make it so that she has more knowledge about the book itself. And also this book is about herself, so she knows the conditions to end it. And she cannot talk with the players right now, because that it never happened. Because she abandoned the group before she went into this mission, and basically just did something for fun and let them die. That was what happened, right? So she never really contacted them before the mission itself, so they can't talk together. but Ryushu is banking on the players managing to survive and put the attention they're supposed to be doing. And then, now is the time for the players. They can do whatever they want. The mission that was given to them was to destroy the thought. If they are intelligent and can get the inner gearing of the things, they might discover that they just only need to survive, and then they can make a plan which is going to make an advantage for them to just survive. But then there is a caveat. The mission is actually to pay attention for a limited time before fleeing, because Ryushu actually needed the entire group to put the enemies so she could do the mission by herself, because the area was legitimately impossible to break. It was an extremely fortified place where the only way she managed to find a way to win was to use her entire group as sacrificial pals so she could try to get an assassination. And she's still, the only thing she can do is that. If the players do not do the job and put enough aggro, Ryushu is going to fail her mission. But because she is a lot stronger than she's supposed to do, because she's from Valemor and she's in the Libre as of now, if they do this pathing where they do not put enough aggro and just try to be more observers, what's going to happen is that Ryushu is going, I'm gonna go to bed. It's yap time! Ryushu is going to go. Why the fuck does she have a Okay, that is so cool. That's actually good that there's a dab mode. So yeah, she's going to explode for the place she was trying to fight, and she's going to end up meeting with the players, and they're gonna be like, you fucking imbecile. And now, instead of trying to survive the horde of enemies for a limited amount of time, they are actually going to have to kill every single person and destroy the thought, because Ryushu failed the assassination attempt, and now the only method they have to get back there and kill the fucker that they have to kill is by destroying the entire fortress, and that's going to be harder. But if they do that, they are going to get a lot of they are going to get much better rewards. But that is legitimately I don't think I'm gonna do something that's probably not gonna be fair for them, because this is not this is the hardest path you can take. This is legitimately the hardest path you can take. Actually making it so that you are forced to win the fight is very, very difficult. It has a lot of things. Yippee! YouTube has a lot of emotes actually. They actually made the emotes thing a lot cooler. It's just they have so many. Oh shit. I'm trying to. Here, this is the one I like. So that is going to be the thingy, and then there is the method that I am trying to show them that they're supposed to be doing, which is they can go and just buy time by pulling a lot of aggro, surviving, and then fucking off, and that is going to finish their realization. And this is the path they are supposed to take, but it's not going to be one of the best. Not going to be an easy undertaking. Yeah, that one is actually that is one fucking cool move. This is not going to be an easy undertaking, and the way they are meant to be doing this is by not only using their browns but using their brains. They are supposed to find a weakness in the fortification, the settlement. They are supposed to find a place where they can fight by them, and they are supposed to do these things to make the battle easier so they can win. And if they do that, Ryushu is going to just do a mission and call them to flee, and the mission is going to help them flee their place, and they're gonna learn of her. And after that, they are going to have a talk. And I am going to give them a little bit of exposition on what's going to happen in stage 3 and then it ends. But there is a caveat. You know what can do as well? If they want to, even after Ryushi finished the assassination, they can still try to win and kill everyone and just destroy the settlement. And that is going to give extended rewards for the players, because I think that's actually cool, and I think that is the best way you can resolve the thingy. And if they do that, like, they are going to get a massive power up again, and and I'm going to do another thing for the world. And every single one of these spells I just told you is going to have another reverberation on the physical place of Valgrim, specifically, more, because every single one of these matters. More specifically, is going to make Valgrim a very different place, but it's also going to affect the regions around the north of the world, because that's what the ley lines are doing. This entire liver is trying to manifest itself so you can order the world utilizing the ley lines it's connected to. So depending on the endings they get here, I might do something different, I might do something else, and that's the cool part. And then there is... You sure? But you know what I'm gonna do? I think this has been really helpful to me to create in this campaign. I'm basically talking and formulating every single thing I want to do in the campaign itself, which makes it a lot easier for me creatively, and it also makes it a lot more fun. And then I'm just gonna rewatch the stream and write down everything, flush it out, and then just prepare for the session. I'm pretty sure that's gonna do. I think this has been an absolutely good idea. And it also shows, like, I think this has the potential of being a good campaign. I want to believe that this has very much the potential of being a good campaign, and there is like a lot of player input that's going to change how the story goes. It has a backstory that the player can go. It has overarching arcs that the story is going to follow through. It has foreshadowing of what's going to happen, and a lot of that stuff, right? And the thing is, the talk of Ryushin is going to be like, okay, listen up, guys. I'm pretty sure I understand what's going to happen later. This thing you did was for one of my members of the group, right? I don't really care who it is, but I am absolutely sure that one's going to be for me. Considering the thing I had to fight this time to assassinate, it's gonna be the next book is going to be mine. And if there is only one, if there is one event that I actually despised, it's going to be. And there's only a few events that I really would think would go into the book. So prepare yourselves, prepare Silver, prepare Farah, because we're going to be fighting demons. And then it just ends, and they go to like the stage 3. And what I'm going to do in the stage 3 mainly is that I am going to give the players the most magical models depending on the choices. Throughout these stages, on stage 1, Moses was just like talking to the players and giving them a little bit of knowledge what's happening around them, so they are not completely lost, and telling them what they are supposed to be doing, so they understand what the campaign is about and everything, so they don't have to say this out of character. And then in stage 2, the best way to say something is to speak it out loud. Indeed, that is true. You know what? Time to drink water. What I'm gonna do is in stage 2, it's going to be extremely focused on Moses talking about the consequences of what happened, because this is new for her as well, and she is very interested on what the consequences are, because remember, this is directly connected to the book that is tied to herself and Dismas, who cannot, like, she's trying to destroy her reply. And depending on the consequences of these things, like, Moses might be like less inclined to help the group, she might be more inclined to help the group, she might be inclined to actually try to kill them and like fake them for fate, the future, and become antagonist to them. Depending on what they do, it might go that way, right? But in stage 2, Moses is like, okay, everything that happened there was way too strange, because since she's the librarian, she gets access to the books themselves. She can't tell what is inside them before they're completed, but once a stage is realized, she can peek inside to read what the players did. And that is how she's going to learn what was done in the campaign itself, so she can judge the players and their actions. And the thing is, she's also going to have insider knowledge of what was the thought process of the players. Because, in books, you can, when you are reading a book, you get the internal monologues of the characters. And I'm going to be doing, because I am the dungeon master, right? I can listen in to my players and their reasonings as they are doing something. So, I am going to make it so that Moses actually has that knowledge, and I'm going to use it against them without they knowing. Because when you get a character, even if they know that Moses somehow gained knowledge of what they did inside the book, they are never going to expect that Moses has knowledge of what they were thinking out of character during the session. But I'm giving that power to her because I'm going to be making that everything the players are thinking out loud out of session is just what the characters were monologuing inside their head. And Moses, because she's reading the book they were writing, then she has that knowledge. And I am going to be using that against them by making Moses decide to help them to be more antagonistic to them depending on that internal monologue of them, which I think is going to be very unique and very fun. And as I said before, stage 1 is just Moses trying to test the waters, seeing if they trying to make the group work, and making sure that he actually can fucking do the mission. Stage 2 is going to be Moses just telling to them the consequences of their actions and trying to explain to them why certain things they did inside the book were good or bad, because she is a very good investigator. And basically, what I'm gonna be doing in stage 2 with Moses is that it is going to be my way to tell the players what I was expecting of them and what could be done differently, which I thought could have done given another ending for them, but it didn't because it did some way. And it's going to be my way of giving feedback directly to the players about how they are playing the campaign, what I thought they did that really gave a mark and change the course of the story, what I think they did that they could do differently, and that kind of stuff, right? So the players also understand what the mechanics behind the things I'm doing is, because everything that I just told you about oh, this action is gonna do this action is gonna do that, is a black box for them. They're never gonna know that unless I tell them. So Moses in this area is gonna give that knowledge for them. And then on stage 3 is when Moses is going to confront the players truly, and depending on the actions they've done, depending if she thinks they are going to be a good thing for the world and that they should work together more, depending if she thinks some part member should be removed or something, if she thinks they did a good job, everything, she's going to confront them in a positive way, just giving a lot more knowledge and giving them the background of who Dismas is and what Dismas did and why the library exists and everything, and give them every single bit of background for the story that I made for Dismas and Moses, and then tell them on what's going to happen with the world and not what they are going to have to do, what is their job in this world and what they have to actually do to make it better. And it may be not. Maybe I'm gonna make it a chapter where the players, instead of going to the library, which they have been conditioned to think that happens after every stage, they are just placed in the middle of a forest, because Moses used one of the abilities, which is this level 7 spell, which he just has basically at will inside the library, which is Transpose Book. This thingy is a modified version of a spell in DnD, which makes you take a few days and you legitimately create an illusory terrain that you can touch, you can feel, and you can literally touch, interact with it. But Moses has a more powerful version of it, which is Transpose Book, which is basically gonna be that Moses is gonna usually she just takes a book of the library, or she just writes one to do, and then she just creates it and tries to to like confront the players and tell them how weak they are and how much they are fucking up and how they actually have to lock in. Is that in the story? But it sounds very good. Yippee! Thank you for this! That is very good to hear. And that is going to be like the most confrontation part of this act of the story. And then after this, it's going to be Valimar, which is going to be the tantalization. It's just going to be Valimar. And I have played a campaign in Valimar, but that was done by another person. And basically, what I want to do is that I want to take one of the moments. Yeah, I want a few of the moments that we found that were most cool in that campaign, and that we think that we fucked up because we fucked up in Valimar a lot, okay? And I want to take those scenarios and redo them, but with these new characters and in this new narrative, so we can like try to have this cool narrative going of how it could have been. So I want to do I could have been for a campaign that we played before, and I think that is going to be extremely cool. And that's basically, would there be a middle? Oh my god! Yeah, I can change the stage names to beginning, middle. Yeah, I'm doing it. I am renaming this to beginning. And then this one to middle. And then this one to finale. Yeah, this is basically going to... Oh no, now it's not... Ah, no, it's fucked up. Two. One. And three. Yeah, this is gonna be it. And yeah, this is going to be the campaign itself. That is basically what I've prepared for them. As you can see, most of what I just told you has legitimately nothing written for it because I had a problem. I had a writer's block when I was doing this campaign because let's just say that the moment I started like trying to really write this campaign, it was also the moment I started streaming. So I lost every single bit of my free time. But now I managed to flush out everything I wanted to do, and I managed to like actually physically have something which tells the story I want to tell. And now the only thing I have to do is really just go for the live stream again, just write a little bit, and then like make maybe one or two scenes in Foundry, and a little bit one more enemy, which is gonna be Ryushin, the black version of him, for at least be able to do the first stage beginning. Making the middle stage is gonna take a little more time, but it's going to be. I've already like finished this, and just having this idea literally built and more constructed is going to help me so much. This was such a good idea. And then later, also this is the first book, right? Do I just remove this? Is there anything here that I actually want? Oh, there is this. Okay, we are gonna do another book, which is Nosferatu. Nosferatu is the second campaign I want to do because this entire thing is legitimately it's just a campaign. This entire thing is just a campaign. There is yes, this entire thing is one campaign, and then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to make a second campaign to pitch another campaign for them to do at the other area, which is going to be Thrashing, and then I'm gonna have to do another campaign for Trival and Svenari, right? This is probably gonna be 8 sessions, I think. 8 sessions at maximum. Maybe 6 sessions. Yeah, 6 or 8 sessions. And this is going to be the first part of the campaign I make for them. And then the second area I have somewhat developed idea for is Nosferatu, which, as I've told before, is going to be an area for vampires and classicism and very much old history, old blood, and the entire plot of this area is that what the? The entire plot of this area is that very old vampire lady has gone through the demonic wars and legitimately was one of the a strong fucking person, but because of what she suffered for there, she believes that the world would be better if she was under her foot, legitimately, because she knows what cruelty is and she knows that this world is still weak. Basically, the entire story is going to revolve around her thinking that the world itself right now is still weak, and if there ever comes a time when demons come again, everyone is fucked, which is correct, by the way. We've seen a fragment of a demon in Valimar, and that fucker could decimate like 95% of the content. There is 5% which is just an anomaly, but the entire rest of 95%, they could legitimately decimate everything, and she's going to like feel that as a problem, rightfully so, because demons still exist and are still manifesting in the real world, which we have seen in Valimar, and the problem is she can't really do much. She isn't like as powerful as she used to be. She have lost the touch with the weapons and magic and that kind of stuff. And also, she can't, even if she went back to training, it doesn't matter because she knows she is not strong enough to win by herself. And in ancient times, there was the mythical path of heroes who were completely broken and helped save the world. But where the fuck are they now? No one knows. And because of that, she's like, we need to impose chaos and death and misery into this world so it becomes stronger, so that when the real disaster come, we can actually survive and win. And that is basically what her character envisions and what she thinks she has to do. She thinks she has to be this force of nature that is the leader of an evil empire that is just slowly and surely dominating the world to make it a stronger place. And as I said, how I'm going to present the characters this is that this one is going to just start already, and it's going to be a more open world. There's going to, instead of just being there's these tiny bits of areas that doesn't have a lot of things to be done, and it's going to like, because in Wolf Hunt, which is the first part of the story that I just told, everything is kind of somewhat disconnected from another, and you don't really have NPCs who are gonna be talking all the time. You can't really create a character there. You can't really talk your way through other NPCs. You can't like go to the shop and do some bullshit. You can't really create a life in that area of the RPG because it was not what Earthfront was built for. Nosferatu is where I want that. And basically, the Underdark, it's basically that. It's going to be a very insufferable place. And the players, how they're going to be given this is that Moses is going to start by telling them, okay, listen, be careful. I do not know what has gone through this fucking book, but demons have been mentioned, and considering what you can see we can see from looking at the setting, that area is most likely returning to old times, which is very constructive with what we know about the city itself of Trusting, and that is worrying. If you find a demon, fucking run. And because the players are and that's going to be the only clue I'm gonna give it to the players when they end them. And because the characters are extremely more powerful than they should be, because they are in delivery, I can actually give an excuse why this person from people from modernity can actually hold their ground against these freaking creatures, and that is basically the excuse they're gonna have to throw this for them at a very high level place. And the thing is, Nosferatu is going to be basically as they are going to be thrown into this empire. They are going to be likely just being thrown into the need of the city for nothing, and they immediately are going to notice that they don't really fit. Why? Because they do not look miserable enough. Everyone they look just looks either extremely armored and extremely military, or they just look weak, impoverished, and miserable. And they don't look either of those. They do not hold a coat of arms that even people that look more adventurous have. They do not, and they do not look impoverished. So they have to very quickly try to blend in. And I'm going to give like a grace period for them to like try a plan and try to just hide themselves. And if they do that, it's going to help them a little. If they do not, then there are going to be consequences, which I'm going to construct later. But basically, my idea for this entire area is to create this entire empire for them to navigate in and like converse and live in. And they are going to basically be doing quests and other missions inside this place just for themselves, just by themselves. And that's going to be like the overworld of the city. And it's going to be the overworld of my city, with a city that I'm going to have in my campaign. And then, what is the lore? What is the motivating character? Well, first, the characters are going to very quickly find that this place is very fucked up. They are under an empire, under rule, and I expect them to first believe that they are not. They are going to make them believe at least a little bit that they are under the rulers of demons, and they are legitimately in the middle of the demon city, and they are trying to like look like one of the officers or one of the impoverished people, because they don't know what happened in that area, but it looks like it is be a demon facility. But the more astute of them is probably going to notice that there are humans and other races that do not look like slaves, even there's a lot of them around the place. And that's going to be the clue that there's something wrong here. And then I expect them through just traveling and talking to people to learn that they are in the middle of the empire of blood of like vampires, which I'm going to be heavily using blood fiends for. That is why it is projectile based. This is gonna be like blood fiends, and they are going to be, and they are also like for time. There is going to be another place in the city, in the empire, which is going to be that they are looking like, which is going to be I'm going to make ways for them to reach the palace, because I'm going to make it somewhat obvious to them that the person they have to go for the realization is the Empress herself. And I am going to make it so there's a lot of ways for them to enter the palace, the palace itself, by going for like, they could either just get captured and try to talk to her like that. They could also try to rise through the ranks and go for that. And the thing is, I am expecting them to at least try to gain a position of power in the middle of the place, to become stronger, and to be able to gain more equipment. Because throughout the campaign, you are expected to gain magical equipment and more powerful tools, right? Throughout the entirety of Wolfhunt, I am not giving them items, and I am not allowing them to buy items outside of Wolfhunt, like in the real world. And the only Nosferatu is going to be the first place where they are going to be able to buy magical equipment. But to gain magical equipment, they are going to have to become a person in the city. They are going to have to perpetuate the cruelty of the empire, and also they are going to be exposed to the cruelty of demons, which is 1,000 times worse than anything the empire is doing. And they are also going to see how much of a fucking menace the demons were and why the empire is this way. They are going to slowly learn through personal grit to get more weapons, to become stronger, so they can actually win this place, that the empire maybe is necessary. Maybe the reason this place is so fucked and like so miserable is that the area around it just doesn't allow anything else, and it's just survival of the fittest. And this is the way the place managed to survive, because only the strongest have something to say. And even and like the strongest also can like talk to the emperors and everything. They like gain so much here. And then because of that, I expect them to like hit the moral conundrum that Empress herself actually hit as well. Do they just destroy this place? And like is this good for humanity or not? Because they actually know that if they allow this empire to survive in the real world, there is going to be a manifestation of something similar there, and then this entire place of misery is going to be perpetuated in Draken. But the demons exist, and the demons are actually a threat. And from what they learned from the Wolf Hunt Reaction, they know that demons are actually manifesting in Driver, and they are still very much alive and could very much be a threat again. So, knowing out that knowledge, knowing the knowledge by a fact that the demons still exist and could reinstate this order of chaos in the world, do you really think this is not good? Do you think that this is not necessary? That it's not necessary to have... No, I am in campaign as far as não. Basically, we have a custom world in a D&D sense, and in this world that we created, we made it so that for a long time, there was an entire constellation, the entire world was just controlled by demonic forces, and they were legitimately cruel to every single other race. And the thing is, only recently has the continent of Drava been expurged of that demonic influence, and there are still survivors of that demonic purge that are roaming the lands, even if they are very much sealed and in weaker forms. And there are survivors of this era. And my campaign, I am playing around Library of Ren, so I am making so that from time to time the players are going to be pushed into books which are the manifestation of someone's thoughts, and Nosferatu is going to be the manifestation of the leader of Russian, which is a city of vampires. And basically that woman, she has survived through the from the era where the demons were controlling everything, and she has been traumatized by that. So her book, which the players are going to be sucked into, is going to be set in that era, but this time, instead of just being a complete wipeout, there is going to be an empire that is fighting those demons, which is going to be the land of Nosferatu and her land. And basically, what I am trying to give to the players is that every time they finish a realization in this book, depending on the actions, the world itself is going to be modified, because inside this book it's basically just an illusion, but when a book is finalized, a little bit of what happened inside of it goes to the real world. And what I'm going to do for Nosferatu is that if the players decide to make the Empire like prosper and win the fights against the demons, at least a little, the Empire itself is going to be thrown into the real world and is going to start to cause chaos in the continent as it starts to try to dominate the continent. And the thing is, that might sound as a bad place, because the Empire itself is a very cruel place where the strong rule, and basically anything, it doesn't matter as long as you are strong and as long as you can fight and you are fighting for the cause. But the conundrum that I'm gonna give to the players is that they know that demons exist in Driver. They are gonna know the power of the demons for this part of the campaign. And they know that there are still demons influencing the real world and that are very much alive through the past part of the campaign that they played. So because of that, they are gonna be like, okay, this woman is trying to enact a rule of power where she is going to be the leader, and it's going to be cruel, it's going to be bad, but she's doing this to make people stronger, because the people of the current continent of Driver are extremely weak compared to what they were before, and they cannot fight anything if it comes back to like, oh, it's another incursion by the demonic incursion, we are just fucked. So what she wants to do is that she wants to like actually create a fucking ironclad role in the real world so she can start creating talent, creating power, so when a real disasters come, she can fight it off. And the players throughout this part of the campaign are meant to be looking at what's happening and be like, okay, I know that depending on what I do, this is going to happen in the real world or not. So do I try to sabotage the empire and make it fail so that it never happens in the real world and now we are like a little bit weaker? Or do I just help it and go make it work, make it function, make it strong so that we can have a chance in case a real disaster happening right then? Yes. Yes, there is also a mechanic around that. I have thought about doing a mechanic like that, but I have reached a kind of a roadblock, which is that only two of my players have given me a backstory, which I can utilize for that. And you know, a fun thing is that I have this character over here, Amy. She is a vampire, and I've done it so that every single book is directly connected to a player. So the wolf hunt is connected to this character over here, and the Nosferatu thingy is connected to her, and she's a vampire that was from an old order that uses the like rituals and magic to control the people so that they control. Like what they do is that they make people into vampires so they become stronger hunters, and then they place rituals on their back that once activated gives the code power control over them to make sure they do not go rogue. So this entire plotline can very much be connected to her. So I am also planning on make it so that this is not only a book for Nosferatu herself. This is a book for Amy as well. And depending on what she decides for herself, decides for realization, depending if she has a breakdown, it could affect her physically and make her distort and like become another book which the players are gonna have to do. Or maybe she can like change how she thinks about the code. Maybe because of what she realized and what she thinks is the correct path, the code itself could be destroyed, and now the vampires that they had under their control could be liberated and don't have to suffer under the rule. That is a possibility. Like if she just decides that no, this empire bullshit is too bad, we are destroying it, people have to get a free will, because I know how it is to be controlled by something greater, and I don't want it to anyone else. If she manages to win that, I can make it so that in the real world, this code that she ran away that was controlling her just destroys itself, and now she's free. I can do that. And maybe if she accepts the empire, instead of like going through the path that she was now, she just run away, right? She becomes an actual member of this new institution, and she is legitimately controlled by them 100%. And that is the consequences. But I didn't really make a mechanic about transforming the players into like corrupting them and making them different, because I don't want to force the players like to change their characters because of something I created. I want it to be more naturally. I want to present the story for them, and by them playing the story, the characters change, which I'm going to do with Amy and the Empire itself, because a lot of the questions I'm going to be throwing at them is going to be directly tied to her. And also because like giving these players modifications that like transformations kind of makes the player itself not be able to play, which is a little bit of annoying. But I have also planned in the Wolf Hunt another area that this character is going to be the main character of that book, and the thing is, he's going to gain a very powerful arm, and depending on how he utilizes it, because the entire thing about the Wolf Hunt is that it's based on the characters being selfish or selfless, because basically, I explained this before, but I'll explain it again a little bit. The book is about a person that had to sacrifice every single one of his friends to survive because he was too weak to go and face the challenge. So if this character he decides to like just start sacrificing his friends, he's just going to get more power, but he can get fucked up, and that's going to be his transformation, right? We have fun and remember not an ad libinar grace. Yes. look live now. Okay. I have now look, I made all of these things, right? Some of them have tasks in them, like this one. But the thing is, because I'm just talking through my ass and trying to make the campaign as I'm streaming it, I have not written a single fucking thing I've typed for this entire, like, brainstorming session. So what I'm gonna do is just, I'm gonna go back to this stream, read everything, and just write everything. Because that is, but yeah, I have some amount of lore. Like, not much. Like, I have some. Let me stop doing this like this. This is stupid. This is the players. This is not mine. Yeah, this is the regions. The item, the magical item that I'm gonna give to the player. And I just separated here, but I didn't write anything. And this is a bad idea, which I'm not gonna do. But yeah, that is basically what I have ready for Nosferatu. And I still don't really have anything I want to do for the other two regions. I haven't really thought out of something that would be really cool to do. But what I'm thinking of doing is that to make the like third part of my campaign, which is gonna be basically another campaign, to be in Venari, which is the south part of the village of the city of Kata. And basically in that area, the main attraction, main thing that happens there is that it's just a complete black forest. If you play Project Moon, you understand what I'm going for. And a lot of the area there is just filled with monsters and creatures, because everything that just stays there becomes something else, something worse, something more dangerous, something more powerful. And the residents of Venari have like this curse. Everyone knows that if you go to this place, you gain the curse, where if you stay too long, one part of your body is just going to become something else, and you are going to become stronger by that change. And what I want to do is that the realization of Venari, instead of being about a person, is just about like defeating these creatures of hell that spawn in this forest. And then I'm gonna make every single fight like somewhat of a boss fight, where the players are gonna have to learn the mechanics behind, and it's gonna, instead of just being, oh, do damage to that fucker, it's going to be like a puzzle. Where the players have to learn the mechanic behind the fight itself, and they're gonna have to learn what I want them to do to win the fight through clues I give them, like a puzzle, legitimately a puzzle, where if they take too long, they die, but if they, and they're like, if there's pressure behind them, to just win. And to give them more interaction, and more like, be capable of playing a lot more, I can make it some of these creatures are actually capable of talking, they are capable of speaking, they have their own backstories which the players have to go through, they have their own books that they have to deal with. I haven't really gone through my idea of this. And fashion, I legitimately do not know what to do with fashion. I think what I'm gonna do for fashion is that instead of making the region itself, because I didn't really create a region, not fashion, Trivala, for Trivala, I haven't really created something that would be interesting to play for. So what I'm thinking of doing is that when Trivala starts is the moment when outside forces start like trying to freak with the Libera. And now the players, instead of trying to do a realization of the area, they have to do like a battle, they have to like do something that is outside of the comfort zone, and they have to actually like go for the real world. And this is the moment of the campaign where instead of them playing in these illusions worlds, they actually play in a physical world where they have to fight and everything. And then this is going to construct very well into the finale of the campaign, which I have not made in the slightest. I don't know how to finish this. And legitimately, I have only really created the content for Wolf Hunt and Nosferatu, which is 2/5 of the campaign itself. I have somewhat of an idea of what I want to do for Venari, which is another fifth, and I can kind of guess what to do for Trivala, even if I have absolutely no idea what to do. And then the ending is going to be very difficult because I basically placed an impossibility on the players, because this entire thing is going on the back button to what Dismas did to Moses, because Dismas is who the person that actually kickstarted the library to get for her own goals, because she knows that the library itself, if you make a book where you are like you can like for her methods, she found a way to make a book where she gets what she wants inside of that story. So she made a book where her organization, a jet organization, are most extremely powerful force in the entire world, making her automatically one of the biggest players that ever exist. And the thing is, to make sure that this book was realized, which she made by sacrificing herself and entire organization, to make sure that it was actualized, she made it so that Moses is her soul is tied to this book, and that now, if Moses she tries to interfere with the library and she does too much, she automatically gets sucked into the book. If Moses she goes into a critical state, like a critical health state, she's also going to be instantly put into the book. And also, if Moses gets into a very bad like mental state, she's also gonna be put into the book. So she basically placed a curse on her, which makes it so that she has to be extremely careful, or else she might just make it so that Dismas wins. And I don't want the players to actually go through this world and finish it. I don't want them to be capable of doing that, because this is basically the highest level of the campaign itself, and this is not meant for anyone to be doing. And the only way I want this out is narratively, because I don't see any point in making this build, because it's basically going to be level 20, and I don't want to play D&D at level 20 ever again. None of the players also want. As I said before, we are a very experienced table. We have gone through numerous Dragon magazines. I know that I sound like actually when I say that, but I say it to make sure that I just driving the point that we have legitimately dried out so much of Forgotten Realms, and we are so tired of high levels campaigns and like the ways you can break the game on high level. I'm pretty sure if I tell my players that we're going like to level 11 and above, they are legitimately going to quit on the spot, because I would as well. I don't want to go above level 11. Like, it's just not fun to play on that above that level. Even like getting nil, I have heard from my own players that every time they are looking at a campaign like, oh, this goes to level 8, 9, maybe I guess, but can we go lower? Like, we just don't want to go high level. We have the contrary of what like new players want. They always want to go like, oh, I want my character to be the strongest. I want to be like fucking amazing. We don't. We just want to be average Joes. We just want to be average Joes. And so I don't really have a good ending for my story. I think I'm just not gonna do an ending, because there is no point in ending. Like, the library itself was made it so that you only thing you have to do really is to finalize the construction of the library by doing the 4 areas of Kata, and then you can make any story you want in it, because the beauty of this thingy is that one of the reasons I made this entire campaign is because I wanted net skills to make any type of campaign one shot in the world of Driver, which we created so that we could create characters and then just use them on random one shots without like compromising the world we created, because everything we do we place it in a combined folder on a combined website, and it's really important that everything like can work together and that everything makes sense in the universe. So a lot of the times we're going to look like a one-shot and we're just never going to be able to do them because the content is just doesn't work for us, and it gets very annoying that there is a lot of stuff that just doesn't connect the forward, which you just can't do. So the library being this area where people just get put over from fucking everywhere and they just get legitimately, what's the name of it? They go into an illusion world where nothing really matters. And I can just tell my players, or someone else can just replace, okay, do you guys want to take these characters and do a one-shot of what's doing? And we can do that, and it's going to be canon, and it's not going to impact the other campaign we're playing, or the world building we've done. And that is the beauty of what I'm doing this, and why I'm doing this in the first place. And that's basically the entire idea for the library campaign. As I said before, the Wolf Hunt is basically very fleshed out because this is what I was planning to actually do for my players. Nosferatu is basically another campaign which I'm gonna have to prepare and think about and really do because this is a big project which I want to do with it. And then there is Venari is also going to be another project. And whatever the freak out I decided to deal with Lastraveler is going to be another one. But everything kind of connects together, and I'm very happy with what I've managed to create. So, I have been yapping for 2 hours and 45 goddamn minutes. I have legitimately done nothing but yap for 2 hours and 45 goddamn minutes. Like, oh my Jesus, I can talk a little bit about the stories. Oh, yes, I know what to do. I want to fangirl about another character that I'm doing and another campaign that we're playing. I want to fangirl a little bit about that. So, wait, I know what to do, I'm going to actually change the BGM a little bit, and... no, not this one. This one actually fits what I'm gonna show, and I'm going to, just one moment, let me hide Foundry. I'm going to change the table. Ah, sorry, holy shit! Oh my god, sorry, I'm so sorry that I actually spotted my ears as well. Why the fuck is those so nice? Okay, I'm just not using sound. One moment. Oh, fucking damn it. How do I leave? You just have to be... Why? Fucking buttons. Okay, I think it's safe for me to make audio again. Yep. So, this is Auditor's Leap, which is another campaign which I'm playing. This time I'm a player. I am just gonna fangirl a little bit about this campaign. So, this is my character. And yes, you might... This is Natsume Subaru. If you don't know what that is the gender-bending version of Natsume Subaru. And yes, I chose it as my character because this art is very beautiful. And her name is Lisa Lectoria. She is a level 1 mage, where I made one of the most disgusting builds ever of this character. Because I usually do custom backgrounds, and I was allowed to. I am a human, which allows me to get an origin fit, and I have Road of Magic, which is a custom background, which I've done. There is a little bit of stats here if you want to read. And then I have the Magic Initiate fit as well. And as I said before, because I'm human, I can get a fit, and I got Magic Initiate. So I have 2 fucking Magic Initiates, and I took the Druid and Cleric spell list, and now I have 7 cantrips at level 1, and I have Healing Words and Curry Ones. And remember, I can cast this 1 time at will without spending resources. And also another thing that is really cool, in 2024, if in DnD, if you do not use spell points or spell slots to cast a spell, you can actually cast another spell on the same turn. So I can use Healing Word and fucking which both in the same goddamn turn legitimately broken. Also, another thing that that I found it really cool is because we are in a world of parallel magic. I wanted to make sure that my wizard wasn't singing out every single time I use the spell. So I got 3 strike. Now 3 strike is has a little bit of importance. In the recycle lets you use your intelligence instead of dexterity or strength, right? And then you can make the weapon do radiant or normal damage. And I talked with my DM, and he has agreed that every time I use 3 strike, utilizing the weapon's normal damage, it doesn't look like I'm using a spell. It just looks like I'm just a normal ranger. And because of that, I can hide the fact that I am a wizard from the world because I just use 3 strike with the normal weapon damage, and then no one knows what I'm doing. It's legitimately so cool. So yeah, that's basically what I did for the character. This is a little bit of my backstory, which I made. And the thing is, this campaign we are playing as 3 people that know each other before. We are all musicians, and we want to like go to a big city and make a name for ourselves. But also something strange has happened. We have received what's the name of it? A letter. It's in Portuguese. I am gonna tell you a little bit of what's happening here. But yeah, what's happening is that in this letter, it's telling us that there is a way to confront demons that go for you, and the only way for you to protect yourself from these demons these creatures of the shadows is to have a strong mental will and to utilize and fully believing of this little phrase, which is somewhat of an old pact that someone did to make these shadows go away. And my DM also told me in private that we as a group have received a little rock, and this rock is supposed to detect magic, and we are supposedly meant to be going around using this thingy to detect magic on other people. But because I'm a wizard, I know that this piece of rock does not work on any singular one of my spells. And because I have a lot of cantrips, I basically have every singular skill of magic ever. So because of that, I have confidently singled out that this rock that was supposed to be sensing magic is actually not magic detection. This is probably a rock with the locate monster or locate creature, because it is not detecting any type of magic. It's probably detecting a creature that has a magical signature. And that is what I made from knowing that, because my DM gave me the complete like, okay, none of your spells are activating this thing. And I was like, what? And that was my resolution, that because this rock does not activate for any skill of magic, it is definitely a locate monster. And because we gained this rock with this ladder that is telling us of a way to protect ourselves from creatures of the shadow, what I think is happening is that we have been like contracted by a group which is giving these stones to people to try and locate these creatures, because in the ladder it says that people that have been attacked by these creatures and have lost their will, they have been like changed into a way where they are doing these creatures' wills. And I think this rock is a way of detecting that. So basically, from that tidbit bit of lore I received from my DM, I wrote everything that you are seeing in front of you. I wrote all of this. By the way, we have not played a single session of this campaign. We didn't even really do a session 0. We just created characters together. I guess that is session 0. So yeah, we only really did somewhat of a session 0, where I did not get into roleplay, but we did do this. And from that one conversation with the DM, that one piece of content that was the letter, and that one bit of knowledge, which was the magical stone, that is from my inference, probably utilizing detect monster to detect the creatures of shadows and people that are being controlled by them. I have made this little bit of lore for the DM to use or not. And basically in here, it has I have detailed how my character has come to these realizations and what my character thinks of the latter and what my character thinks of the stun she received. And I made it so that every single piece of the stats I tried to write it like I was in character. So there is a little bit of idiosyncrasies and a little bit of old English that I would associate with Lisa and not myself. And basically, I did this like a diary entry, and I have told this not only like what I'm gonna be doing in the past, but I also made some addendums in this placement. How Lisa feels about, how Lisa thinks about this, and what Lisa is going to be doing when she sees the shadows. Because since the DM kind of heavily, like he pretty much heavily insinuated that these creatures are going to go for a mental will, I decided to give a very more in-depth detail of how Lisa thinks and how Lisa is dealing with the situation and these dangers. And this is the way I did this for him, to tell him in a way that does not miss talking words. This is in character basically. And then I also did this to my character's past, my backstory. And then I'm not gonna be going in detail here because I don't think it's worth it. And then the thing is, oh, this is another thing. This is the spatial test I made to like probably tell the story of me finding the realization that I think these stones are detect magic and what I think of it, because Lisa's is a wizard and she knows that detect magic is a second level spell, and placing a spell on a fucking rock permanently is legitimately the work of goddamn gods and demons. So she is like honestly somewhat afraid of what she got into, because she knows this is a second level spell that has been engraved in a piece of equipment which they just gave to us without telling what our mission really is. So they are just giving this shit to people, and she is like, oh my god, I have to be extremely careful of my friends because my friends are not that smart and she doesn't really trust them to understand these nuances. And she is like, we made these characters together and I made it so that she's like the more responsible one of the group and the one that like actually tries to think it through and tries to be the planner. So she is, I don't know, I lost the word. She is pretty fearful of what's happening here. And yeah, from expendables in the interest a second sack, a high active does not bode well, even more than when I am the spendable one. She doesn't like the situation. And also, another thing that we did is that we are using this new mechanic. It's a group, and in here, we can place a little bit of lore. I was the one who wrote this little bit of lore, but I did it while we were talking with everyone. So I could get like an image of what the characters were, even though they didn't give me the full backstory for the characters. They gave me a summary of how they act. We talked a little bit together, talking how the characters would work together, how our synergies, and this is a shared past. I made this little bit of task, sorry, to better construct the village that we both all lived in, and to better tell the story of how we met each other and what we mean to each other. And basically what happened is that I already had created in my backstory a village where I wanted to be located at, and the other two characters were okay with just sending themselves to me. So I made some plot points, some plot hooks for them to come to me, and then some of them just came together, and then later we just came together. Marata! And then later, we just came together, and this is the story of that. And basically, to oversimplify our relationship, me and Lisa, we are basically sisters to each other, even though we are not really sisters. But because we both helped each other for very tense moments of our lives, and we were very young, we decided to just call ourselves sisters. And we both think we are the big sister because I, as the smartest one, because she has fucking 8 intelligence and I have 17, I think that I am the one responsible to make sure to take the fall, and I am the one responsible to make sure that to protect the group and make sure that we are always traveling through a good path, right? But because I'm very frail and like I'm a mage, and Lizaine considers herself as the big sister, and she's more like a punk kid who doesn't have like a lot of patience, and she decides to be a little more fighting, and she also sees Lisa as his small sister, as his little sister, who she considers very fragile, and that she has to protect at all costs and doesn't let people touch her. And that's basically our relationship. And then there is Vent, which is basically just and Vent is like our friend. Legitimately, in both of Voix stories, we just placed that Vent is our friend. We just did that, and Vent is. You might know this character from a story. I don't remember from where it was, but it's from a book. And the thing is, he is very curious about magic, and since I know Wizard, that's how we met each other. But because he wasn't trying to like just be near me because I knew magic, I kind of like being around him, and we became friends through that way. And that's how we all met and became party together. That's basically this campaign I'm gonna be playing, and the session 0, and what I did for it. And yeah, like just so you know, I probably wrote as much for this campaign, which has not like any content for it even now, and doesn't have a lot of content for it, more than I probably did for myself. This is like I did 2,100 words, probably more, and then more 500 words, and then 1,000 words again. Like I wrote a lot for that because I have a problem every time I play a new campaign, and I think it's really cool that the thinking, the GMs that I play with, they legitimately know that if they give me like a little bit of lore, I am going to take it and make a lot of it. And this DM is the master at fucking teasing, and this fucker just gave me this little letter which has a lot of content in it that I can just use for teasers, which is a massive teaser, which I deconstructed. I have completely deconstructed this teaser he gave us for this, and this is legitimately 2,000 words. And he also gave me a little bit more of lore for me to go on, and which was the location stones. And that's basically how I play D&D as a player. That's how I am as a player. Also, another campaign that the same DM did, what he did was the following. He made it so that there were websites which we don't normally play on the internet, right? So he made a website, and there were hidden links in the website and hidden little bit of lore, which you had to guess the URL that would let you go to a new place to get more lore of the campaign. And basically, if you were good at finding those little tidbits of lore, you could use it on the campaign itself to know more stuff. You legitimately, I was a person that had the most knowledge in the campaign simply because I did every single act he gave me, and I found every single website. And I think the moment I picked, which was so fun to me, was because there was a character called... Oh shoot, I forgot! Oh no! let me go find it. Oh, Lyra. There's a character called Lyra who was an extremely powerful mage, one of the main characters of the story itself. And the thing is, Lyra was a person that was very clearly connected to the demon I was talking before, and Valemo itself, which is a city of shadows and everything. So, when I found out that Lyra was a valid subdomain, which had another subdomain, which would be an HTML file, which would give me lore, I was like, okay, what is the name? What would be the name of the subdomain for Lyra? What would be the HTML that Lyra has in her page? And I just placed shadow. I legitimately just thought out of my head, okay, Lyra is an important character, let me test if she has a subdomain. Okay, she actually has a subdomain. Let me try shadow because she's connected to shadows and everything. And it worked. It actually worked. And I got so much lore from that page that I was not supposed to get until the very end of the campaign that I was so happy. Like, the page I accidentally got by just guessing the character because I was smart. was a thing that the DM was planning to tell us at the complete end of the campaign itself, and this is supposed to be the after credits. I legitimately broke everything, and that made me really happy. That legitimately made me so happy because it was just me interacting with the content of the campaign itself. Also, if you have what's the name of it? If you have been interested in having this player a table your DM, I'm also interested in playing more D&D. I have I would have to talk time zones and timetables to really know if I could participate or not. But to be kind of honest, I've been really wanting to like play more of this game, and to be even more honest, I've been really wanting to stream this and really wanting to stream me playing D&D, DMing one of the team. I just probably playing first so I could get my accustomed to the streaming habit and everything. But also DMing would be kind of fun. Even, but I need to do it later after playing as streaming. And no, I cannot stream me do any of the campaigns I just told you about because my entire group is not streamers. And not only that, we are all Brazilian. Big surprise, there was Portuguese stats and PTBR stats in the middle of it. So I can't really stream it because we are going to be speaking another language, which is not the one I stream. But I have been very interested in trying to just find something online that I can do and stream and like have fun with it, because just talking and yapping about my own campaign has helped me greatly. Talking and yapping about this campaign I'm going to play, which is Out and Sleep, has been extremely fun as well. And I want to like have something to play. I want to be able to give the gift of my idiocy to others. Oh my god, I have something else to tell. You think like my having 8 cantrips and cure wounds and healing word as a mage is broken? You know this character Alize? We learned something in D&D 2024. You can do 3, not 1, not 2, 3 attacks at level 1. And every single one of them actually add the fury damage. Why? Because D&D has added a new mechanic that is the proficiencies of weapons, and the scimitar has the nick property. And you know what the nick property does? It makes it so that when you use because this is the light weapon, when you use your bonus action to use an attack with the scimitar, you can instead make it as part of your first attack action. You know what that means? It means that every time you hit 2 times with a nick weapon, you save your bonus action. Why would that be broken? Well, you might remember that 2 attacks at level 1 is kind of fucking goated. 3 attacks at level 1, however, is a bit too much. And because this guy is playing a barbarian, you know what happens? He has +2 damage on every attack. So you know that thingy about like bonus attacks, which is bad because they don't add your strength modifier? It doesn't fucking matter because the fucker is gonna deck the fury damage. So this goddamn creature of hell is gonna do. Wait, can I click his? No, I can't. Like, if he hits every attack he does, this is his damage. This is legitimately his damage at level 1. A level 1 character does. See, oh my god, my claws! This amount of damage. A level 1 character just did 21 fucking damage. Do you understand how this can be problematic? Like, this is so fucked. This is legitimately fucked. And this is just 1 turn. He does this every single turn because every single turn is a sphere. He can just do this. It's so much damage, and we use custom rules for critical hits. So his crit damage is actually this. Let's say that he critted for a miracle of God. He crits every single one of his attacks. His damage is going to be. Okay, let me use notice my numpad. +6. +6, +6. And it's going to be plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. This is his fucking damage. Critical damage at level 1. If he crits every attack in a single turn, yes, I do understand that this kind of bullshit, critting every single attack in your first turn, but it can happen. And this fucker does this. 49 damage at level 1. I have nothing to say. This is broken as hell. When I told you that we all make builds in this game, I was not fucking kidding. This is broken. Legitimately broken. But now, I don't really have much more content to do. I've gone for... I have gone for pretty much... I have gone for everything I really wanted to. Like, I talked extensively about my campaign, I've talked extensively about the new campaign I'm gonna play. I don't want really good talking about Valimer right now. I already have done this on another stream, and I just don't really feel like it because to me, the Dr. Valimer, which is a campaign I already finished and played before, I have to go and we got a lot of stuff. I have legitimately got way too much stuff to prepare myself to really talk about everything correctly, and I just did not feel like doing it. But I think it's a good time to do the ending rights already. We've been streaming for 3 hours, which is good enough time, to be honest. I'm not gonna promise anything. You know what? I have learned my lesson. I'm not gonna promise anything that I don't 100% think I'm gonna do. So I'm not gonna promise another stream right now. I'm just not. But if I feel like it, I might go live again in like a few hours maybe, but probably not. But this was actually a blast. I didn't think that just me talking and like being artistically hyper about D&D and the things I like could take so much time, but it did, and I'm happy about that. I'm legitimately happy that I managed to talk for so long and about so much content. And oh wait, I had a retention of this live stream. I legitimately thought you fucking now if you're validating. So, it's time for the ending rights because I've learned that if I just go trying to fish for random topics, I go forever and I have stuff to do. And I also don't have much random topics right now, it's just kind of fucking my head. But, thank you for participating, thank you for watching, and also, thank you for participating in paper. Bye-bye.